The arc began after infiltrating Alphonse LeBlanc's Gullhaven estate, dispatching his failed clones in his horrific laboratory, Sylvie scrying on the Thorn Mother, the leader of the Wood Elves of the Thornwilds, and it was revealed that she was a Summer Eladrin. There was a logging camp that had set up outside. She had received the report that there was a logging camp outside of the Thornwilds, and she ordered Arlon Mooncaller and Ronmir Mossgrove, Annulin's brother, to utilize a new creation in order to deal with it, for they were desecrating nature. Okay. The party then learned through the gangs of Ogway that the gang of the Caravan had fled in the middle of the night, not wanting to be beholden to the new law in Ogway that slavery and slaving would be banned, and so they decided to keep up their operations elsewhere. The party then knew that Anna's mother was in great danger in the fire giant capital of Svarog. They set out into the Smolder Peak Valley with their various mounts and for a very long overland travel. While they were on their way, they encountered an operation of the Caravan bringing hardy slaves towards Svarog. They dispatched them and learned that the Caravan, now led by Ikis, had made an agreement with someone known as Nziri the Forge Master, Nziri the Exiled, the lead Forge Master of Svarog, who is not a fire giant herself, but an Afrida, a fire genie, and needed a ton of slaves for some reason, for a lot of labor. They had freed a slave dwarf named Halgrim Goldbeard, who was an old dwarf who led him, who told them that the dwarven villages in the area had been ravaged by Torgrod the Incinerator, a great pyrohydra that had come out of the volcano of Svarog and had been ravaging them for years. Many of the dwarves had fled to the mountain kingdom, the mountain city of Magnir, where they were then led. They met the dwarven king, Barlock Blackforge, who asked them to slay Torgrod. He created them. They did that. While they did that, they encountered a massive tribe of fire newts, volcanic amphibians that worship Torgrod like a primordial god. In dispatching it, Vanders and Sylvie started a cult of Vandykong, a magma ape. A great magma ape, which I don't know why they don't make that movie instead of Godzilla versus Kong. It's Vandy Kong versus Torgrod. I mean, come on. See that. They then convinced the Fire Newts with the help of Vandy Kong in order to march upon the Fire Giants. They left. Blackforge said, "Hey, fetch my hammer, a family heirloom called a clan heirloom called the Hammer of the First Forge, connected to the power of the elemental plane of fire, which Duke Grudo and the Fire Giants had stolen a very long time ago." And the party promised to retrieve it. He would also send an army as well. Also, Vanders made to the wall, big boys. The party moved on their journey and encountered the bridge of Ordos, where warring Yak folk tribes were warring, and they saw that one of the tribes was in league with Nziri herself, and they sided with the Earthshaker tribe. After dispatching the Flame Keepers, as they were called, they were led to Tamaka. They then learned that there had been three tribes: the Flame Keeper, the Earthshaker, and the Streamrunner, and that their chieftain Kodo, the Stormrider, had been mysteriously drowned in the pools while he was meditating and astral projecting. The Streamrunner clan was blamed, and then the Flamekeepers murdered them, burned down their portion of the village, and joined Nziri to get revenge against the Earthshaker. And they had been at war ever since. Let's move this along here. What happened? Annulin got druid powers from Tamakai, great Windrock spirit. Sylvie lost Lumi, disappeared mysteriously, and got a strange book with an eyeball from her mysterious patron.
Made out of human flesh.
Yes, exactly right. And then they resurrected Chief Kodo and realized, and they learned that it was all a deception by Nziri, and Nziri had framed the Streamrunner tribe and murdered Kodo himself. So they all rode together. They encountered the forces of the Caravan as well as the forces of the Flamekeeper tribe, who Chief Kodo was able to unite with the Earthshakers. They rode against the forces of the Caravan, slaughtering all of the slavers as well as Ikis, their Aarakocran leader. They then, Orpheus Myrmanthus, who was a dispatched villain who had not been killed, had joined them. And this was the purpose. This is the why so long ago that they had spared his life. He knew of a secret tunnel when he was researching the Hammer of the First Forge as well to save Annulin's mother. And so he led them in. They encountered, or they saw very far away, Duke Grudo, who was the leader of the Fire Giants, a massive, a hairy individual with a new advisor, a small humanoid, a smaller humanoid, smaller than a giant, in red and white robes with a mask. They seemed to know of their appearance, but then went into the mountain. They then fought their way through the city, freeing the slaves, freeing the Azars, and uprising against the skeleton crew. There was a great war, actually. So all of the fire newts, the yak folk, and the dwarves had all united. They had drawn the fire giants out to bait them away, and then there was just a skeleton crew left in the city as they caused this great
skeletons.
Yeah, exactly. There was a great revolt that the party led, and in the process they encountered Annulin's mother, who was held hostage by Anziri. Orpheus sacrificed his life in order to save her, and they did not let the sacrifice go in vain. They fled, or they helped the all of the freed rebellion made their way, and they helped the party fight their way to a great blast furnace where Anziri had been heating up a phoenix egg in her great blast furnace, hoping to get revenge against all the humanoids after being deceived by a human wizard whom she had fallen in love with and tricked, and she was then enslaved and used herself. And she was doing now to all of her laborers, and she was burning and smelting down Ifriti-made weapons, and that's why she needed all of the labor and the blacksmiths. With that, there was a great battle in the heart of the volcano, and in the process, Rodek and Annulin both died and were resurrected by the power of Baba Yaga. And then a great portal opened up to unleash an army of salamanders on you, and Orpheus Rhadamanthus himself, reborn, cloaked in, or is surrounded and shrouded in violet flame. His powers returned of some kind at the very least, and he joined the battle. You defeated Anziri. Orpheus teleported you out to a nearby mountaintop where you saw the volcano of Svarog erupt, and you saw that the United Armies had been heavily destroyed, but the fire giants had been wiped out. They were victorious, but it was a Pyrrhic victory. However, you then saw on the other side, the northern side of the mountain range, a much larger fire giant force marching north towards the wood elf capital of Maka, burning the thorn wilds, burning the forest. And that's where we are. Okay.
Oh boy.
Did y'all catch all that?
Did you catch all that? Any questions?
That's a lot.
No questions? Okay, let's move on.
Any questions?
Just set the scene for where we are currently.
Yeah, I'm probably just gonna like reread. I'll probably just reread a little bit of the end here. So, okay. You then hear the booming blast of a huge war horn as you are atop this mountain peak. Orpheus, exhausted, sitting on the ground, unable to believe that he's still alive. And your attention is brought to the northern slope of the volcano that houses the fire giant city. You see glowing lava highlighting the massive stone gate and road, the back entrance of Svarog, as it flows into the ravines below and cools into hardened black stone. But then your attention is drawn to the fire. Countless pyres, torches, and braziers, all massive, dot the forest edge, and you see now their source. A fire giant army, the size of which dwarfs the forces that have been sent against the alliance that you rallied, forming ranks on the charred outskirts of the Thornwild. You hear then the shouting of a deep, gravelly voice, the pounding of war drums, and grinding the parts of siege engines as they all begin to mobilize. Then you see the glow of orange, and although it must be the early hours of the morning, what you see is not the first rays of dawn. As you stand on the precipice, overlooking an insurmountable fire giant army marching north, you realize that the forest is burning. What do you do?
Rodek, Annulin, are you all right? Or is everyone okay?
I don't know.
I think so.
Does anybody else smell smoke?
Yes, a lot.
Okay. I think we all might have brain tumors. I wish. Oh no, the forest is burning.
I know.
Oh yeah, that's kind of like not what you like, huh?
What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna straighten up and look around and see Orpheus sitting on the ground. And I'm gonna walk over to him and, Orpheus.
Yes, Vandrus.
You saved our lives. And I'm gonna reach my hand out to help him up.
He grabs your hand.
Thank you, Vandrus. Well, I don't think I really did that. I didn't do much,
How
honestly.
did you get your powers back?
Well, I think, like I said, I was pulled into the fire, a sea of fire. I thought I was where my people came from, and I burned. Agony. I thought that what you guys did to me was the worst pain I'd experienced, but no, that was far worse. And I died.
You died. You truly died.
I know it doesn't look it. I know that I look far prettier than having just died and brought back to life in a sea of fire and smoke.
Yeah, especially compared to how Rodek looks right now.
I do look a lot better than you, don't I?
You see like a massive, cleave through his armor.
Orpheus kind of steps over, and he winces a little bit, and he leans down and he puts his head next to Rodek, and he gestures over to Rodek. Not bad. Just died. Also just died.
Death obviously picks favorites.
And I think that maybe I'm in shock, and that's why I'm not I just died. Wow, I burned to death.
Yep.
But now you're this. What does this mean? Can someone hold on? I was dead when all of this happened. Can someone explain what happened?
I mean, it was everything was happening so quickly. We were in trouble. My only thought was to try to finish off Enziri and rescue everyone. And I.
Yeah, and I stuck a chicken foot in you.
I mean, that's the long and short of it. A portal had opened up, and legions of some army were going to pour through, and then all of a sudden there was Orpheus, and he saved us.
Well, like I said, you always have a plan B. I took the phoenix feather. I wasn't sure it was a phoenix feather. It could have been a very bright parrot.
Like a chicken feather or something.
Or a very bright chicken. Fire chicken.
But yes, Sylvie used the thing on both of you.
And it's still just as salty. That's good to know. I was afraid it would get less salty as I resurrected people from the afterlife.
And you heard the voices too,
Why
I presume?
did I come back? What voices?
When you came back, is that what you were going to say? You heard voices as well in your head? Bringing you back, calling you back to the realm of the living? Right?
Yes.
That's just not just me. I mean,
Wait, you did as well?
No, if you guys didn't know. I was just checking, you know.
No. I did.
Oh, what did you hear? I want to know. I want to know. What did you hear? What did you hear? I want to know. I want to know. What did you hear?
I mean, surely it must have been your god or something, right? Morton.
At first I thought...
Who's Morton?
Let Rodek talk.
Moradin,
What?
the Soul Forger?
Oh, was it him?
No, it wasn't. When I died, I knew I was dead. And I felt like I was going to Moradin's light, his warmth. And then the fog rolled in, and it was the witch,
What witch?
Baba Yaga.
Oh.
She spoke to you.
She spoke to me. She told me, it's fuzzy, but she told me it wasn't my time and I had a greater purpose. She called me her red son.
What's she doing giving you nicknames?
You have plenty of nicknames.
Yeah, but you have a book made of flesh with a wobbly eyeball in it.
No, you have that.
I know, which is why I deserve a nickname. When you have to carry around a grotesque flesh book with a wobbly eye, then you can have a nickname. Stupid.
What did you hear? Same thing.
Yeah, what did you hear? What did you hear? What did she say? What did she say? What did you hear?
Well, it was...
Did she give you a nickname too?
She did. Don't be mad, though.
I'm not mad at you. Mad at Vandrus.
Me
Figures.
too.
I'm not really.
Oh, okay.
Me too.
I'm not really.
Thanks,
how could you?
Orpheus. Ugh.
Anion, please.
It was very similar. It was pretty much the same, except she gave me a different name. And bright morning.
Gross. You're not even bright or morning-like. You hate the mornings. No, I hate them.
I don't mind them.
Orpheus, who spoke to you?
Same thing. I heard a witch. She was not attractive, like witches are generally not attractive.
Aye.
My
Okay.
eyes are gonna narrow at Orpheus.
And she said, come back,
Don't lie to us, okay?
afternoon tea.
That's not what she
She
said.
invited you to tea.
She did.
No.
In her witch place.
That doesn't
Her
sound
witch
like
house.
anything she would have said about
Oh,
you.
this is not good. I'm gonna walk up to Orpheus and put my hand on his shoulder and look and kind of squeeze his shoulder real tight and really look at in his eyes and say, "Now I suggest you don't lie to us," and cast Zone of Truth.
Oh, what's the save on that?
It is unfortunately it's charisma, so he's probably pretty good at it.
Oh,
17.
that's a natural one.
Oh, well, get wrecked, Orpheus.
Yeah, no, he fails. He fails. And by which I was testing you, Vandus. Well done. You've succeeded. I'm impressed. You're a very compelling, persuasive guy. I didn't really. I didn't. I mean, it was a language. I think. Language. They were a little whispery. Language. I couldn't really understand it, but it made me feel like I had power. And I think it was the phoenix feather that I took. Probably was Phoenix. I've never learned how to speak Phoenix. And so that's what happened. It was the language. It made me feel very powerful. And he is doing prestidigitation. He just sparking bits of flame that arc around. Oh, hey, you like that, Angela? There you go. And so
Now, hold on. You see they were whispering.
Who's Wesper? Can you please pay
They were a
attention
little
while
soft, a
Orpheus
little
is
quiet,
talking?
very seductive,
Rude.
a little seductive. Calling me back, it was a little lewd, wasn't it?
And you understood the language.
Yeah, I felt that I knew that I'd get my powers back if I just came back. The power of fire destruction was beautiful. The power of destruction.
And you weren't able to make out anything specific that these whispers were saying. It was just a general feeling.
I just heard something, but I knew what it meant, which is kind of weird. Huh. A lot cooler than a witch, though, probably. I didn't get a nickname,
No.
though.
But you know what this means.
Didn't get a nickname.
What?
Well, it means that if I have the best nickname, and I do, and you have a really poopy nickname, and yours is fine, Vanders probably has a nickname too, and so that means we finally have a name we can go by as a group.
We do?
Papa's Bitches!
Well, I mean, I certainly like the flair of it. I just don't think we should be advertising
What would
about
be really cool
You
is
know.
we could get black leather jackets, and we could have somebody put something on the back, ooh, maybe a cauldron with a chicken foot in it, and it says Baba's Bitches, and then a lightning bolt.
I know that I'd make Black Leather look good. I don't want to speak for anyone else.
I'm not anyone's bitch. Certainly not her. She brought me back, and of that I'm unfortunately
Wife
grateful.
too, because my book, and then her foot.
You gotta pay good money for that.
What?
Never mind.
My point is, of all of this, is that 3 of us just died. Do you understand that? We went through a lot with you, dealing with you, and no one died. Not you, not us, no one died.
I am a little embarrassed. That she's 3 out of 5 isn't bad.
It's pretty good. Not even Moradin could see us through that. It was a witch, a hag.
You should really stop calling her that, because I'm pretty sure she's listening to everything we say all the time.
It's no secret.
Isn't that what she is?
And you know what would really suck? If she decided she hated you guys, and then I couldn't spend time with you anymore and I had to leave.
We're not going to let that happen.
Yeah, we don't want you to go anywhere.
I will say
Neither, so...
what I'm a little concerned about, and I look back to Orpheus, this whole ordeal that you've gone through is a little reminiscent of the time that we had to make a deal with. Do you feel like you've made a deal with someone or something? I can't help but shake the feeling that you might have agreed to something.
Are you a warlock
I did agree
now?
to come back, didn't I? Yes, I did. I did do that. I was promised the destructive power of fire and more. And Vanders, who's going to say no to that?
I don't blame you.
The voice was so sexy. But I couldn't...
It was definitely Baba Yaga then.
No.
Look, it doesn't mean outright that this is bad or wrong. I mean, the deal that we made went perfectly fine for us. It helped us be where we are today, alive, and accomplishing the things that we need to accomplish. I'm just a little concerned, is all.
You're concerned about a little bit of a wardrobe change, Vanders.
A little bit.
That's all that changed about it. Well, except for this. I'm no longer a chauffeur, a steward, a butler, an ice cooler.
You were an
carrier.
arch-villain before!
And then look at what a downgrade happened after that.
Yes, you lost your power, but now you have it back.
It seems a little...
Potentially more powerful, who knows?
Yeah, so you're gonna be a good guy now, right?
I'm trusting you, not cutting you down right now, just so you know.
I could have booped away. Did I?
I believe he said poo-booped.
Poo-boo?
Just to be clear.
I could have booped away. And I really have to go.
Number 2?
No, I'm kidding.
Orpheus, I think that we all owe you a big thank you for what you did.
I hope that you don't take this lightly. I meant it when I said thank you. I mean, you sacrificed yourself for us, and I hope that this means that we're even.
What was that, lad?
What?
What did you just say?
What did you say? That
Who's
you're...
weaving?
I hope you understand the gravity of the word you just said.
Yeah, I just think that
I didn't hear you.
with everything that we put him through, with what he did for us then, I think that
I'm
we
going to
might...
cast minor illusions so that as he speaks, his voice starts getting louder and louder and louder until it's booming.
I just want to say that I think that it's worth noting that I think that we're even!
Oh my gosh, did you hear that?
I don't think he's ever said that before.
That's not binding.
It's so loud.
Verbal contract!
I mean it.
And you
I'm like
witnesses.
quarter devil or something. Verbal contract, that's how it works.
And there
You
are
can't take no taking
witnesses.
backsies, Vandy Poo.
I think I just want you to know that we're friends, and I appreciate you and what you did for us. And I hope, like Sylvie said, you're a good guy now.
Well, I've always been a good guy. I mean,
No.
I
No,
mean,
you
good
haven't.
fashion sense.
He used to be a lot meaner.
You know when you have the best fashion sense? Remember when you were bald?
Not until this moment.
That was pretty cool.
We're still not even for that. No, I owed. It was the least I could do that. You're the reason why I'm alive, and we had, I think that's kind of a verbal, I promised, blood debt. I'm alive. Your mom's alive, hopefully down there. He points over at the mustering of all of the various armies, and you see that there's actually coming from the secret tunnel, and they've made their way far enough away from the lava flows. You see the freed slaves, and there are hundreds of them making their way to join the forces.
And look, at the end of the day, he's right. I know that was harrowing, and I can't imagine what it's like to die. But we're here now, and we've succeeded, and he helped us, and we helped him, and we are working together. Well,
What's your plan now? Now that your debt is settled, allegedly, without any conference, with his party members or friends?
I never really thought about that. I thought that getting sent to a pit of fire was going to be it. I didn't think that this was going to happen again. I mean, that was my dream, and I was planning on it. That was my goal the whole time, but I didn't... You know when you plan something, and you're like, when you start like a New Year's resolution, you're never going to do it, right? That's how it was for me. And I didn't think that it was going to happen. I guess, friends, I didn't think it would get this far.
Oh, we're here now, and I think you should come with us. You don't have to go anywhere.
Go where? I mean, after what I've done, I can't even show my face in Gullhaven.
That's true.
Anzu, forget it.
Yeah.
We'll cross that bridge, I suppose, when we get there, but we could use you. I mean, you're a lot more useful now than you were, sans powers.
That's precisely why I asked the question. Who are you now? Who is Orpheus Radamanthus?
It's okay, you just died. I'm sure Tone is really tired.
Yeah, it's a little numb as well.
Teeth.
Who do you want to be? Will you help us?
I think I have said this before, but I want to be good. I do. I really do. I don't want to destroy. I don't want to kill. I don't want to do bad things. Who really wants to do that? I guess I did. It was more about my dream and my vision, though. The killing was just part of it. A means to an end. But I know how, at the end of the day, my dream, I thought I'd be helping people. I realize now that horrible toad plague may not have been the best way to do that.
But I do like toads.
She does.
I don't recommend Slotty to fix your problems.
No, I like real toads.
And just to be clear, I still haven't forgiven you for that.
For what? I thought we were even. No takesy-backsies. Rodek, isn't that dwarf law or something?
We all heard it.
I can't even look at frogs the same way. Ugh.
Oh,
yeah.
Just because you got a little egged, Vandris.
Don't say it.
You can be a good sport about getting egged.
Ugh.
Little
Eggs
sloop.
aside, look!
Your chest is fine, look! I mean, it's fine, but it's also okay and alright.
Please, continue.
Look! And I'll point
Where?
to the battlefield of the, our, presumably, based on last session, if I'm remembering, the Dwarven and Yak folk forces are diminished, right? And
Yes,
I will
yes.
point to, on the other side of the mountain range, I will point to the massive fire giant army marching north. Look around us. We thought that this would end it, and it's not even close. Duke Grudo clearly has some plan. This was a diversion. This was all part of his plan. We thought we were getting the upper hand. No, we played right into his trap.
But how were we supposed to know that? We had to save Annelyn's mom, and there were lots of people who were enslaved here, and we had to save them too.
I'm not saying we had a choice, Sylvie. No.
You feel a rumble in the ground as some boulders and fragments fly out from the top of the volcano and land hard hundreds and hundreds of yards from the mouth of this mountain, and smash down, and lava continues to flow out, and immediately, and you would think that it'd be cooling from all of any volcano that you've seen. Should be cooling a lot sooner, but this lava is so hot, it is staying steaming, glowing orange for a very long time, and you hear the pounding of war drums constantly. It's almost at the point where you're just so used to it now, shocked and exhausted from your death-defying battle, that you just kind of drowning out. You hear the baying of the hellhounds. You hear the grinding of machines of war and the rumbling of fire giants as the forest burns and it is a swath of destruction, and they continue to march north. That's what.
We're very far though from this.
Yeah, you're far. You're just able to see because it's a massive, massive thing.
I don't want to rush anybody, but we are kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're not going to get to that army anytime soon. I mean, we have to make haste, I guess, but I'm pretty banged up, and I can't imagine the three of you. We need to rest.
But they're burning everything.
And we're going to do everything that we can to stop them. I don't know how.
What are we? It's a fire giant army. Greater than the forces that met the army that we put together. The dwarves, the yak folk, the newts.
We've dispatched fire giants before, recently, obviously. It's new for us, but we can do it again. And besides, I like these odds.
You like these odds?
Of course I do. Are you kidding?
How many thousands of fire giants are there?
I mean, we only have to kill thousands each. It's no problem for us.
Yeah, and I have 3 glitter lances, so that's at least 3 giants.
Exactly. We can do anything. Thank you, Sylvie. Thank you.
Yep. You're welcome.
We can do anything.
We can do anything.
No, we
Wanna
can't.
know why? We're Baba's bitches, motherfucker. Let's go!
I didn't agree to
Take
that.
that direction, but yes,
No,
that's
no.
right.
I'm making us leather jackets.
It's not going to stick. And I agree that
What's
it's a little
for
crude.
What do you mean?
Bitches.
What about it? That's a type of chicken.
What?
I don't think
Yeah.
that's true.
I think it's
No.
actually a dog.
No, Okra told me it was a chicken.
Who?
Okra.
Chicken and okra? I'm
No,
having a feast.
Who's Okra?
one of my siblings. Okra told me it was a chicken.
Oh, you're a sister.
Okra told me it was chicken.
All right.
Well, regardless,
And
that's not our
chicken
name.
foot. So Bob, we're essentially Baba's chicken.
We don't have a party name. That's just not our thing.
We do now.
No.
Baba's chickens. Cluck cluck, bitch.
I do like that. I wasn't sold, but
Regardless.
So what we could do is we all put our jackets on and we turn around and go cluck cluck, bitch, and then go like this.
There are no chickens. There are no jackets.
Well,
There's
there will
no...
be.
We need to figure out how we're going to deal with a fire giant army.
No, that's true. We should do that, and then I'll get the jacket.
I thought me sacrificing myself to a horrible, unhinged genie with a giant magma worm monster was gonna give me a break from all this. Wasn't it supposed to be over? Isn't this supposed to be like, oh, we defeated the bad guy, we stopped the Phoenix? Then don't we all just go enjoy a tropical island and some drinks for at least a little bit?
I've been waiting for the tropical island for many, many, many months now.
have you been to the Makani Islands?
No.
What are the Makani Islands?
They're an island chain off the coast of Chalk. Most beautiful place in
Who's
all of
Chalk?
Atlantis.
I feel like we're getting really off track and there's a lot of bad stuff happening down there.
Yeah, it's my way of avoiding it.
Can we see like the our side of the army?
Yeah, so basically you're at the top of one of the lower mountains where it kind of dips a little bit, and there's a pass where you could probably get down on either side.
How they looking? They all dead?
They're not all dead. They're pretty. They've lost like a good. More than 50% of their forces, I would say, for sure. Probably more, and it's just definitely more than 50%. And you just see bodies strewn all over, and you see like just dots, which are the bodies of all of the smaller humanoids, and you see just the surrounding these massive corpses of fire giants, splintered war machines. It was a brutal battle, and as you see the large true silver construct, the effigy of Barlock Blackforge, it lies in pieces as well. And they seem to be mustering. You have no idea who survived. And all of the freed slaves and prisoners that are joining them look far weaker even than the soldiers who just survived a very long battle.
Well, maybe we should go down there and regroup and see how they're doing, and I'm pretty tired.
Your mother. We need to make sure she's okay. All of this was to save her, and so you're right. We need to reconvene with Kodo and I mean, we could try to see if they will help us going north, but I just don't understand how they could, given this devastation, I just don't see it.
Well, we've got to try. We've got to ask.
Well, it's north. Where are they going? Why? Maka? It's a bunch of woods, animals, forest creatures, and elves. Why would they be?
We care about those things, though.
I know that we do. At least in theory, all of us do. But why do they? Why do they leave this? He points and the volcano's going off. This seems more their speed. Volcano, fire giants, fire.
They already fought the elves once before. That's why Anion's mom was here in the first place.
I guess
I
we
didn't find us.
They have an elf vendetta.
But that was just raiding. They had all sorts of people. We saved people of dozens of different races. Not just elves.
He's asking the right questions. I just don't know the answer.
Perhaps for whatever reason they need a new home, or they want to expand their lands.
Why was Nziri so upset about it? Why weren't Grudo and Nziri aligned? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, Nziri wanted to destroy everything.
Well, I'm sure
Kill everyone.
it has something to do with that weird person in the mask.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that guy. Or girl.
So this person driving a wedge between their leadership or their alliance.
And Nziri clearly had a plan to summon this phoenix creature and kill perhaps everything, destroy most things. Perhaps Duke Grudo didn't want to take part.
So he's going to destroy most things in this forest.
Well, he might not, or I don't know.
We're clearly missing something.
Is there an elf vendetta? Annulin. Is there like some maybe their grudge? You guys are all about grudges, right?
Yeah, well,
Well,
dwarves are, but are elves?
Me too.
Aren't fire giants just like really big dwarves? Isn't that kind of how that all works? I don't know.
Aren't you the researcher? You're the one who knows these
Do you
things.
think I wasted my time on studying dwarves?
I'm sorry. It was a valid question.
I know grudges, beards, ale, axes.
And ancient artifacts and things. So you have a missed opportunity here.
Giants are not dwarves.
Obviously.
Well, fire giants. I didn't say all giants.
I don't
it's like
know.
almost the opposite of what those words mean.
There's a size difference, I'll admit. Certainly. I know frost giants. I don't know too much about fire giants besides they like to use armor and weapons and fire.
And they burn down our homes and our trees.
They have beards. That's about all the same. And
Craftsmanship and stonework.
Aye. Have you met a frost giant? They don't give a shite
Not a
about
person.
forgery or craftsmanship. This is a fire giant thing.
That's what I mean.
I won't begin to comprehend what Duke Grudo plans.
Could we just start calling him Drudo? Because Duke Grudo's really long. I don't like it.
Or just Grudo.
That was going to be my suggestion.
But then you're missing an entire part of his name. If you call him Drudo, then you're still saying both parts, just real fast.
Well, I think Duke is more of like a title. His name isn't Duke. He's a Duke.
What?
He's a...
Fine, we'll just call him Dookie and move on. Do you know what Dookie is?
Well, I might.
What is it then?
You tell me.
I asked you first.
I don't know what it is.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, I don't.
Say it, Rodette.
Shite.
No. So what Okra told me was no. It's really poop. Yep.
All right.
Yep.
What else is Oka saying?
Oh, a lot of things.
I'm sure she does.
Yeah.
First,
A lot of things.
first things first.
You know, Evangeline never mentioned Okra. I'm a little
Please
hurt.
don't talk about my sister.
I think we need to get back to our base camp. We need to retrieve our mounts, and then we need to rest, at least for a little bit. And then we can ride out and start to take a look at what these fire giants might be doing. We won't know until we get closer and we start to investigate. So that's all I can suggest. And I could use a
It would
drink.
be really fun.
Honestly.
To go swimming.
We can do that along the way.
What? No, that's tonight.
If there's a place for that, fine.
In my mansion, duh.
Okay, we can do that. We can do that.
Oh, right. I've been through a lot. I totally forgot
You
about
know-
the mention.
Swim does, after all, the fire and the heat. I could use a good fire.
And you see that his eyes kind of glaze over as he stares out onto the flame of the burning forest. The volcano erupts again, and Orpheus kind of leans forward. The flame. And his eyes widen. And you look around and just, it hasn't really changed. And the black orbs of his eyes with that speck of red in it widen again, and you start to see something kind of lick up around his eyes, and you've seen tears come from his eyes before, but it seems to be of a violet color, and it's glowing, and they start to lick up a little bit more around the side of his face.
I'm going to, while this is going on, have gone through my belongings and pulled out
Flame.
one of the bottles of liquor, and I'll pop it open, and I'm going to look at Orpheus as I hand it to Rodek for him to take a swig if he'd like. Hey, Orpheus, are you all right?
Do you see Evangelus? And he grabs your arm as his eyes ignite into violet flame.
No. What? Do I see what?
It is beautiful. The flame, the fire. This is more beautiful. This is more beautiful than the best of limbo.
Orpheus, you're hurting me.
Vandrus, and his fingers dig in more as his eyes ignite into fire. The flame, don't you see it? It's not just any flame, it's the
cast I bite on
violet
him.
flame.
I'm going to rip his hand off my
I
shoulder as
bite.
well.
I need him to make a DC save of something or other. Wisdom saving throw.
Wisdom, ST. Wisdom. That'll be a 23.
I'm going to try to pull his arm off my shoulder and hold his wrist, like, firm.
What's wrong with him?
As you grab onto him, and suddenly his eyes get wider and wider as they grow, and the flame starts to spread around his face as his hair is gyrating, swirling all around him as the violet flame erupts, and suddenly it all stops.
Orpheus.
Obvious?
He looks at you, and his eyes are just pure violet flame. You're sorry, friends. I don't know what happened there. As he suddenly ignites into a full pillar of violet flame, as it erupts around you, and suddenly, as you feel in the heat is agonizing, and it bursts out. And as soon as it engulfs you, you're too slow to react how fast this is. As it engulfs you, and you feel your brain racking in agony. And I need everyone to make a wisdom saving throw at disadvantage, please.
Holy shit! What the
Jesus.
disadvantage?
Where did I forgive this motherfucker? Wisdom? Oh no. I fail. I got
Does
4.
a 10 succeed?
Oh, yes, exactly right. It's the same DC as a fly.
Yes.
I got a 4.
I got a 15.
Also, I couldn't do. I forgot that it was tapped because we have another longer now. So it doesn't matter anyway.
What do you get, Annual?
Oh, I got a 15.
Okay, then it all fails.
Oh, boy.
So they're all fails.
I got a rock.
As you feel your minds start to break, as your consciousness leaves you and you barreled over in agony, and this sensation feels familiar.
Oh no.
As
Oh no.
your consciousness fades, you're not dead, but your senses are no longer your own. As your vision turns to black, and you're barreled over, and your mind melts, and you hear, then silence. And then suddenly, you feel the wind on your skin. The sun is high in the sky. You're standing high above the earth. Although it's not the Smolder Peak Valley, or the Thorn Wilds. You're all standing together, surrounded by people. People of all races. And the stone is not this dark brown of these mountains. It's slate gray. As the sun beats down, and almost oppressively, you can't tell if you're hot from the sun or cold from the biting wind. As you look all around and you see that you're on top of this great mountain range, and you see down below a great, vast forest, but it doesn't seem to be any kind of forest. Is it a tropical jungle? It's hard to tell. It's not like no forest you've been in. As you see carved ahead of you massive statues of strange beasts with snarling mouths. And you realize that they're each sitting in a huge statue of a scale. And on either side is a snarling manticore, lion's head, scorpion tail, bat wings extended. You see sitting on a large pedestal, wearing very formal robes. Is that Orpheus? It looks like him, but he doesn't have long hair, very short hair, purple skin, very short horns. Not that same sense of energy and lust for life. Incredibly reserved. It's a tiefling sitting in a pedestal, and you see all around. You realize now that there's a ring that he presides over, and standing at the center of this ring is a very small creature, shivering. You're not sure from the wind or from the cold, but shackled, wrists and ankles to the stone floor. And you see that they're just faces. Humanoids of all varieties. You see an orc. You see a kobold. You see all sorts. You see humans. You see dragonborn. And you then start to hear low growling and the rattling of chains as you turn to your right. And standing, not more than a few feet, is a massive, slavering manticore, eyeing the goblin like a piece of meat, like its next meal. And you realize that this, unlike this goblin, the chain that's rattling is not chained to the ground. It's being held by a young boy, no older than 10. He's wearing a very, very well put together outfit, and you see with short, slicked back hair, the grease, you can see the sun shimmering off of it. You see jet black hair just above shoulder length, purple horns in that same familiar shape, small black eyes with that red dot. And is that Orpheus? It looks like him, but many years earlier. And he looks incredibly nervous. He's almost shaking too, as he holds the chains of this great manticore. As the crowd turns their attention to this creature in the middle, a goblin, you can now tell. They then hear a voice booms out from the large tiefling sitting at the larger tiefling sitting at the pedestal. And you see that now he's kind of leaning back, sitting in a chair, almost like a king, holding court. And you hear the voice boom out. And it doesn't sound familiar, but there's the tonality of it reminds you a little bit of your friend Orpheus. And please give me one moment as I pull up my notes.
I don't like this.
Smog Cactus. Goblin. You came to my city. We welcomed you. We granted you safety. All you had to do was not violate the law. All you had to do was follow our customs. And yet, you stand accused of robbing the Lucky Lioness Tavern. What do you have to say for yourself?
The goblin is huddled. He looks up and you can tell that he's missing teeth. And he looks very thin and sunken, and he's like, I only stole a loaf of bread. I broke a window, one window. I can fix it. I can't fix the glass. I'm pretty good with woodworking now. I just stole it because I was hungry.
And the bottle of whiskey.
And you see that he almost blushes for a goblin.
Well, I stole that because I was thirsty.
Now you see, I don't have nothing to say about it. But I swears I didn't mean it was just a loaf of bread.
Just a loaf of bread. You violated the law. We uphold our laws. We welcome you. You would have been cut down in any of the human settlements outside of my city. And you repay that shelter with the violation and its disrespect.
Don't I need like a trial or something to be guilty? I mean, you can't prove it or did it.
There were eyewitnesses.
Oh, I should have done it. You know what? And he says, can I represent myself?
That is not our way. Now, I have made my determination. The punishment is the same as all the rest.
And you hear as the great manticore is snarling, as it's kind of lunging, and you see the boy's eyes are widening next to you as he's holding on to it. And you see the judge of this ring presiding over this of some city, but you are on top of a great cliff top in this strange ring of law. And you see now around you that there's just dozens of manticores perched watching the scene unfold. And the judge turns and says,
Schmarg Calcus, for stealing a loaf of bread, bottle of whiskey, and breaking a window, I sentence you to death by manticore. My son, he turns to his left. Orpheus, now is the time you learn. Now is the time you learn that we who sentence those who violate the laws must see it through to the end. And you see this boy look up with eyes full of tears. And he's holding the chain. And he says, but I don't, it's just bread. I'll pay bread. Orpheus! My boy! You are to be the judge, just as I am one day. You must learn this lesson. All of the crowd is as quiet as the grave. And he's trying to hold it back, and you can see the manticore is pulling, and this spiked collar around its neck is digging into its flesh, and the goblin is looking, and you can see that he looks up, and he's like, and there's almost this horrible mortal realization that he has, and he just goes, well, you done goofed up, old schmuck. And he just kind of sighs and looks down at the ground, and he looks up. May I say one more thing? Do I get a last request or last words or something? What is your last request? And he reaches down and he pulls off a ring, and it's weathered, made out of bronze. And he says, me sister, you can find her by our family name. She's Smargetta. Could you please give this to her? It would mean a lot to me, sir. She's all the way in Bargish, but she's in a little town called Whitechapel, just a little bit off outside of Brig. And he holds it up. And there's no words. And the judge simply nods, and one of the guards, a very heavily armored dragonborn, golden dragonborn, steps forward and grabs the ring and palms it. And the boy is now holding the chain, and he is terrified, and he's petrified, and he looks up and he looks at the goblin as the goblin just hangs his head and accepts his fate. And you see that as this boy pulls the chain and he holds back the manticore, he looks to his left, where you all stand. He looks at all of you. What do I do? What do you do?
Over there.
Huh? You're there. You realize now that you're standing like a couple of feet from them.
Does it appear that he's the only one that can see us?
No one else is turned.
Don't do it, of course. It was just bread and some liquor because he was thirsty like he said.
That's right, you can't do it.
More bread. You can get more bread, obviously, because that's easy. You get more liquor, obviously, because that's easy. And you can fix the broken window, obviously, because that's easy. So, but you can't get another goblin his life back, you know?
I mean, morally this is wrong. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, but I'm getting the feeling that this has already happened. I'm not sure that we can sway the outcome.
But he asked us. And he didn't ask us the first time this happened, so obviously we can change it.
I can't explain it. I'm just saying, I don't know what's happening here. I just have a sinking feeling that it's not going to matter what we say.
Don't do it.
What do I do about this? if I let go, he's gonna go for the goblin anyway. I don't know what to do. I don't wanna kill this goblin.
Then don't do it.
I want to walk forward and reach for the chain and see if I can touch it.
You reach out, and you grab it. And you hear the voice boom out, Orpheus, what are you waiting for? And you feel that it's a chain. You're holding it now.
It's real. I can touch it.
I'm going to run over and grab further
We
down.
can help him.
Now, if you let go, Annulin and I will hold on to it.
We can do it together.
But there's still going to be the flesh-hungry manticore and the goblins still. I don't know what to do.
I'm going to look to Rodek and say, I don't know what the right answer is here, but I'm not going to leave them hanging. And I'm going to walk over and grab the chain as well.
Boy, do you know who we are?
No. I think... Do I? You look familiar, but I don't think we've met.
My name's Sophie Flicker, Wicked Elf Bird Possum. It's great to meet you.
And I'm going to curtsy while still holding up the chain.
Vandrus.
Your name's Rodek, dumb.
As Rodek was saying, I am the one and only Vandrus True Strike, and while holding on to the chain, I'm going to do a deep flourished bow.
Rodek Stonehearth.
My name's Orpheus. Orpheus Radamanthus. I'm the son of Judge Nemos. So, do I let go now?
Well, I see it like this. If you let go, you've made your choice. You're letting go because you don't want to kill this person. And no matter the outcome, you've made your decision. And you will be able to rest easy knowing that you made the right choice. And whatever happens after that, we can be blamed.
Right, because if you let go, we're the ones holding the chain. So if the manticore eats the goblin, we're the ones that let it happen, not you.
My thoughts exactly, Sylvie. Thank you.
We're not going to let it eat him, right?
No, of course not. But regardless of if that happens or not, it's our fault and not his.
I will walk up and grab the chain.
I got it.
But just know that we don't know what's going to happen next. What do you say, Orpheus? How do you feel about that?
Make a persuasion check advantage.
That's why I'm a Viking. That's pretty good.
You said persuasion?
So much bread. Like flummy bread.
Well, good thing it was an advantage. I got a 23.
Pretty good.
He looks at all of you.
Father's gonna be so mad at me, but I don't want to be bad.
And he lets go. And as soon as he lets go, you feel the tug of the manticores. He lunges forward.
I'm gonna put my other hand on it.
As even though with all of you grabbing, he starts to gain ground. The goblin is hunching, cowering. What do you guys do?
Oh boy, I'm gonna try to dig my feet in and really pull. This is what I was afraid of. We might not have sway here.
I'm going to...
Manticore!
and I will speak with animals and see if I can talk to the manticore.
You do that.
Mr. Manticore!
No food! Food!
Oh, I know you're so hungry. Oh, but you don't want to eat that goblin. Look how tiny it is, and all the bones will just get stuck in your teeth.
I've been eaten for so long.
Oh, it's terrible. Who hasn't fed you?
Yes, I eat lawbreakers. I eat the law. He's pulling further and further. The goblin is cowering.
I'm gonna reach in my pack and see if I have any food on me.
He's starving. Do you have any food?
Nope.
Well, I find that unlikely.
I'll reach in and give you some jerky or whatever, dried meat that I have.
I'll just kind of
I
gather.
don't think this will work, but we should try.
Here's
Make
some
an animal handling
food.
check. At advantage because you're
19.
19. You as you hold out the jerky, the whatever it is about just the amount of food that you have and the soothing voice and the fact that you can speak to it, it's just like food here, food there, food, and you have to pull your hand back to not have it get bitten off as this lion head tears it off as it swallows, and it just a beast of this size shouldn't be sated, but and it kind of
There we go. Well done, Angela.
and
That's
it
good.
falls asleep,
That's better.
and you see Orpheus, tiny boy behind you. See, he looks at the goblin. The goblin's just cowering, like looking around at the judge. The judge seems to make no motion, and Orpheus smiles slightly, and his eyes erupt in a violet flame and swallows all of you, and all of your minds rack, and you see all the three of you. Everyone except for Rodek, the entire scene melts away in this violet flame. Except for you, Rodek. You see as all of the flame looks around from Orpheus, he disappears himself. As suddenly the scene all around you starts to shift as your brain racks in agony, and you see where the stone pedestal, the throne, where the stone pedestal, where this Judge Nemos had sat, now shifts and gets wider and wider, and the stone around you extends, and you are now in a dark chamber that's as cold as the grave, as you hear the rattling of chains again, and another circle just as this, but you see the frost on your breath, as you see not just one, but you see 3 dwarfs at this slate, deep gray, almost black stone with icy cold runes carved into all of it, as it circles around and they glower down, and they have this just ashen, almost grayish skin with deep beards and eyes of icy blue, as they wear strange armor and vestments with runes hanging off their hands, and they're not the similar runes of your dwarvish language. And you see the one at the head, just where Nemos had been, looking down was where the goblin had been, but there is no goblin anymore. It's a female dwarf wearing vestments, simple vestments of Moradin. Recognize you, Rodek, you recognize this as your first love, your only love. And you know that she left you, she abandoned you, she disappeared, as she looks up and her eyes are filled with fear for just a moment. And she then stands resolutely, tall and proud, as she holds her hand to her heart, her fist to her heart, and the oldest of the dwarves, with gray and black beard, almost slavers as saliva is flinging from his mouth. For the act of heresy, bringing heathen gods into this mountain, when only the heart of the mountain, the frozen heart of the mountain, is all we need to survive, bringing the gods that abandon us. And worst of all, the deceiver of our people, I dare not speak his name, a council of the Frozen Eye sentences you to be swallowed by the mountain. You hear the grinding of stone as massive gears start to, stone gears start to pull as they are heaved by these iron bars, by these dwarves that all have similarly icy blue eyes. And the room is incredibly dark, and you realize now that everything has just this eerie blue glow. And you see that there is a twinge of fear in her eyes for just a moment and a hole opens up in this room just beside her. And it feels even colder. And it feels like there is darkness, that there is only darkness, death, and evil below. And she does not even look into it. And you see that too, that there are now dozens of guards all around, flanking this Council of the Frozen Eye, as they begin to approach. And Rodek, you're standing there, and you realize now that you are clutching the warhorn at your side. You are gripping it as it flashes with an icy blue. As then you realize that you now can act. You can move. You can see her. You can see them, all of them. And you can see that hole in the mountain. What do you do?
Holy shit. Am I how far back am I from all of this?
I would say you're probably good 40 feet.
Do I have any sense of the war horn in my hand, what it does?
No, but you feel like you feel like blowing it potentially could help you.
No, I'm not gonna lose you again, and I'm gonna blow it.
You do that. You grab your horn, and you have no idea what it does, but you look at it, and you place your lips to it and blow, and it lets out this deafening, horrible noise as it cacophonously fills the room. And as the glow on your horn is the same icy blue glow as all of the runes that fill this chamber, and it flashes, and you think back to your moment, and suddenly, as the runic magic bursts and covers your face with an icy light, and suddenly you feel your body changing as your face turns blue, your body turns blue, and you get larger and larger and larger. As you look at your skin, you have massive muscles, and suddenly the war horn is not massive on you. It is in your hand, and all you see are the dwarves that are all around you looking up in absolute terror. And you think for just a moment, when you think back to what you said to Orpheus, dwarves are not giants. That is not true now. As you slam forward and you step on the dwarves that are trying to approach, you smash with your arm. You have no weapons, but you don't need them. They were not prepared at all. These are mere priests, a cult, and you smear the walls with their blood. You rip them apart, and you see the two dwarves flanking this dwarf at the head, and you grab them and just crush them in your massive blue fist. And it's just like you've seen the frost giants that you've faced so many times before, and you grab the dwarf at the head, this leader of the Council of the Frozen Eye, and you look at his petrified face, you look at the hole, and you slam him down deep. He screams, and his voice echoes through the hole as it bellows up, and you feel the rage and the bloodshed and the destruction and everything that you've done, and you see that it was good. And she looks up at you with pure adoration and love. She is saved, and all of the destruction and death that you've brought were good. And suddenly your eyes blaze with violet. Your consciousness fades as your mind is wrapped.
Did Rodek feel like, and I don't know if I can ask this question, I'm just going to ask it, sorry. Did he feel compelled to do that? Or was he did he feel like he had free will and that was what he wanted to do, or was it like once the horn was blown, the frost giant took over?
Yep. He basically was compelled by pure
You
bloodshed.
were acting out of love for the woman, but
I felt that blowing the horn could do something that would allow me to save her, was
Right.
the prompt that I just got.
right.
And so, in that moment, instead of trying to get in there as a dwarf, I decided, that was
That's what
my
I
thought.
just wanted to. Okay, I just wanted to. All right.
Yeah, you do that.
Holy shit.
Suddenly, all of you now, your consciousness shifts as it changes, and it's actually quite a nice, pleasant evening.
Crank it up a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Music.
Sorry about that.
Wreck it.
Yeah. I'm gonna wreck it.
Ooh, pleasant.
You are in
Pleasant
a village,
Is there an Oni here?
and you are in a it's actually like a pretty well built up town, and it seems to be predominantly human, and you hear as you look up and brilliant fireworks burst into the sky, and you see that there's a large tent. What can only be a circus. It reminds you of Mr. Magnus's Magnificent Menagerie from back in Gullhaven. As you see that it has been, this tent has been put up, and you hear the growls of the fantastical creatures. You see that people are flooding out of the tent. That there are people excitedly holding sweets and cotton candies and large stuffed owl bears as they're making their way into the town, and you realize though it's far off, and there's a sense of jubilation off to the side, but or far in the distance. But then you hear an angry voice, and then another angry voice, and they're kind of like starting to shout, and you realize that it's down an alley, and you see that there's a barrel that there's a skinny figure hiding behind, peering around into this alley, and you hear the voices get louder and louder, and they're shouting, and you see the glow of the orange flame from beyond glowing from this alley, and you're not sure what's going, but you can see no older than a teenager, no older than 16. That is unmistakably Orpheus, as he's peering around the corner, looking terrified. What do you do?
How far away are we?
Probably about 20 feet. He doesn't even notice you.
This is another one of these interventions. We just walk up to the lad and see if he's all right.
I don't know what effect this will have on the past, but this might be a way to help him in his mind, maybe.
Kind of hurt before. I don't really want to do that again.
We should try.
Look what he did for us.
I'm just a little worried about what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, he did die for us, so...
Hey, Orpheus.
You call out, and he looks at you for a moment. He absolutely hears you, and he turns and he says, "Shh, shh. They're going to hurt Trunco.
What?
What's a trunco?
Trunco, the magnanimous, our strong man. I barely escaped.
Who's gonna hurt a trunco?
There's a posse. They
A
didn't like
possum?
a posse. Yeah.
Why? Why are they doing this?
Because they think that we're practicing black magic. They think we're freaks. They think that we're going to hurt their crops and bring disease. He's just a poor Loxodon. He wouldn't hurt a fly.
No, we have to go protect him.
All right, we can help, but just real quick. Do you know who we are?
Yes. No. Were you in the crowd? I think I may have seen you after my juggling act. I'm a juggler in the circus, but they're going to hurt Trunco.
All right, there's no time for that. Let's take a look.
We're going to save Trunco right now.
God, there's a lot of them. And he gestures you over.
Get behind
So
the barrel.
you get behind the barrel and you Scooby-Doo and peek around, and you see that there's an alley, and that there is an absolute throng of probably 30 people. many of them very clearly just drunkards and angry and had just gotten worked up in the local saloon, and they've cornered a Loxodon, very clearly wearing an extravagant costume of a strongman, as he is backed into a corner, and you see that they have torches, they have pitchforks, they have a bubbling pot of tar, and they have a large bag of feathers. And you hear one say, I ain't never seen no fucking elephant fly, but this freak is gonna get the worst of it. That'll teach you fucking carnies from coming into our town.
All right, we can make quick
We
work of
can
this.
see this?
You can see all of that.
But no one needs to die.
Well, they've never seen an elephant fly, but have they seen an elephant fly?
And I'm going to cast Polymorph on Trunko and turn him into a fly.
Well done.
Amazing. As you look around
I do
and
have that spell.
and you see as you reach out your hand and Trunko is and he's petrified, and even though he's massive, he's almost twice as tall as this human posse as they're surrounding him, and you get the sense that Trunko is probably his stage name.
Really?
As you suddenly he just shrinks and it disappears in an instant, and suddenly you see the one at the head, a lot shorter, no taller than 5 feet, but very much a human, and he's like puffs up his chest and he's looking around like, what the fuck? And he turns around and they all look in your direction.
Just remember, these are probably commoners. We do not need to kill them. It would be like slaughtering houseflies. Just leave them alone.
They
all right?
intended harm to Trunko.
That's fine, and we got him out of safety. We don't want to be slaughtering people in the past.
Does it look like one of them is kind of like the leader?
Yes. As you see that this shorter, he has a bowler cap cocked to the side as he stomps forward and he's, come on, boys, we're gonna see this fucking Midland.
Am I within 60 feet of them?
I would say, yeah, at this point, he pushes through the crowd and they all angrily turn, and you see the fly.
I'm gonna turn towards him and I'm gonna lock my eyes on him, and they're gonna turn like a murky, swampy green as I cast Dark Delirium on him.
Oh, Jesus.
I need him to make a DC 18 Wisdom saving throw, please.
I'd ponder his wisdom's not so high.
I ponder he's got a bit of a negative fucking score. He got below 0 on that roll.
Wow.
Yikes.
And I am going to charm him.
Oh.
Nice.
Okay. You do that. And how does that work?
He's charmed for a minute.
Oh, so he's
friendly to
frightened.
Sylvie.
He's friendly to Sylvie.
And I'm gonna step out from wherever we were.
Hi,
Hey, well now aren't you a pretty
I'm
picture?
from Bog Possum.
Well, we gotta go find one of them freaks and give him some justice.
Nuh-uh.
Well, I mean, you are strangely compelling, but why not? They're gonna bring disease. Have you seen that fucking freak? That ain't nothing natural. None of them fucking carnies. And he kind of peeks around, and he can see Orpheus's horn.
You
And
know,
I see.
you know how sometimes we can be really poor and not have a lot of money for food and stuff? 'Cause that's how I grew up.
That's all I fucking know. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and guess what? One of my uncles one time, he worked at a carnival just 'cause he's poor. Everyone's here is pretending to be happy so they can feed their family. You wouldn't want to hurt them or their families, would you? That would be so mean. Right, dude?
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
While this is happening, Vandus is like mid-rolling up his sleeves, like getting ready to like box a little bit here. Just in case, rough him up.
20.
20. He stops and thinks, and he stops for a moment. He looks at you, and you hear. Go ahead.
And if they have black magic, do you think they'd spend their time doing stuff like this? Or wouldn't they all be living in mansions? That's what I'd do if I had black magic.
That was a stage whisper.
You do have a mansion. It checks out.
I know.
And you said, I'm gonna go find that elephant fella there, Lester?
I think all of you drink way too much. There's no elephant, just a fly.
Make a deception check at advantage.
They're very confused now. Hold on
21.
a fucking minute.
21.
He stops for a moment and says, "You know what? You're fucking right. I think you may have just changed my entire fucking perspective on people who are strange and different to me. We all have the same kinds of motivations, such as survival and the love of our families."
Yeah, but exactly.
Well,
And anyone who does have black magic is definitely not anywhere near us.
what did you just say, Lester? Shut up now! We're calling off this elephant hunt, and there ain't no flying either. Let's go back, and next round is on me.
And he stumbles forward,
More
and
drink will solve the problem. Hip hip hooray!
That's what I always say.
you hear kind of, okay, Lester. And then the person holding the bag was like, "Man, I wanted to feather somebody." And he follows at behind, and suddenly the fly lands and they disappear deeper into the town. The glow of the torches dimming, and you can hear now where angry voices. You now hear that carnival music again. That is just echoing through the town as things are still going. The fair around the circus is still going, and the fly is just buzzing and it just lands on the barrel. And Orpheus looks up at you and says, "You actually saved Trunco?"
Yeah, Trunco's great. He's a fly right now. So don't go anywhere near him because if he bites you, you'll get a really horrible sickness.
We didn't even have to rough anyone up.
Yeah, I know. I really wanted to because they're all a bunch of pieces
I was
of
ready
shit.
to.
But like,
Oh, don't get me wrong, they would have deserved it, but I certainly didn't want to walk in there and slaughter them.
but I was afraid of what could have happened to all the innocent people around us if
Right.
we were to get into huge fights. So it was the best I could do.
You did a
Thank
really
you.
good job.
Agreed.
And so
Quick thinking.
once they're really far away, I'll make Trunco not a fly anymore. And Orpheus, you might want to let him know that it was me, and it was not bad being a fly, and I'll never make him a fly again. I mean, for at least now.
Orpheus looks at you and says, I was just going to run and save myself and just not help Trunco because I thought I was powerless."
Listen, I don't know how much more time we all have here together, but I want you to do me a favor. My name is, of course, the one and only Vandris True Strike, and I do another flourishing bow very similar to the first time we met him. I want you to try to remember me.
Remember you? For what reason?
We may meet again.
Yeah.
Sooner than you think.
Yep.
Remember all of us.
Uh-huh.
Well, you did turn the Trunco into a fly. Trunco, are you okay?
Oh, hold on.
And I'm gonna drop my concentration.
You hear as he drops.
Trunco
wins! Trunco wins! Trunco wins! Trunco lives! Trunco lives!
I immediately murder Trunco.
Dennis, no!
and now Orpheus is
Now you'll never forget me.
And all you hear and Orpheus gives him a big hug. It's like, I saved you. I saved you, Trunco. Yes, you're alive. Oh, thank God.
Trunco,
And he just turns and he just looks at you.
I'm sorry I made you fly, but I want you to know something. No matter what horrible things people say about you, you are not the things they say you are. You're wonderful, and you have people who care about you like Orpheus. And so I made you a fly.
And Orpheus kind of pats him and says, "Trunco the magnanimous, he wouldn't hurt a fly, and he couldn't. It's good to see you, buddy. I'm glad you're okay. I'm sorry I was going to run like a coward." And he gives him one more hug, and Trunco then turns and gives each of you a gigantic... You're not really sure if he's actually that strong or strong by Loxodon standards, but at the very least he has a job and he feeds himself. And so he gives you a big hug, and he starts to kind of stomp off as Orpheus looks at you and says,
Orpheus, you told him that you weren't brave, but that's not true. You may have not had the kind of power that I have, where I could turn him into a fly and then Darkest Delirium, that other guy.
I don't even know what that is.
I know. It was really horrifying for me too, but it worked. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is, bravery isn't always being able to do the thing you want to do, but it's finding a way to get it done. And you were brave by telling us he was in there and he needed help. Don't forget that.
All you can do is just make the next right decision.
You're right. I'm going to try to remember all of you. And I'm going, and his voice cracks. I'm never going to let that happen again. I'm going to stop it next time.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop it. And his eyes ignite into violet flames, consume all of you, and your brains rack with pain, and they fade to black for all of you except for Vandris.
Oh, hell.
Vandris.
Right here, baby.
While everyone else's consciousness fades and is consumed in violet flame, you maintain your vision. And the narrow street that Trunco walks down, you see Trunco leaving, happy, a bit of a skip in his massive step, and you see as the street, the buildings start to almost like enclose and slide forward, going into tall, smooth stone walls.
Oh my god, it smells so fucking good.
As
Well, that's an idea.
as the smooth walls, as you feel a glow of red, and it's not unpleasant. You, as the walls are around you, and it feels a little chilly, and you see Trunco still walking, and the body continues to shrink and to shrink and to shrink. And you see as Trunco's walking off, until it's just a tiny form of a little girl holding a broom, sweeping. The smooth stone floors, dust is being swept back and forth. Don't get a sense that she's really achieving much progress. And you feel the red glow all around you. And you look and you see that nothing's on fire. You've been so used to that. But it's just a sunny day as light shines through stained glass on either side. Red stained glass from clasping hands wrapped in red twine. And you see up ahead that there's an altar. And you actually recognize this place. This is down in the Belfry. This is the Church of Ilmater. You remember it's an old chapel. You maybe only looked in maybe like once or twice when you were doing a job, and you see ahead that there's this little girl sweeping, looks a little dejected, and you see it's a tiefling. Is that Orpheus? No, it doesn't have the purple skin. It's kind of a rusty color, very short hair. As you see that she's wearing a very simple brown dress with buttons down the back. As she's sweeping back and forth, and then she takes it and she turns around and she looks and she kind of places the broom gently against one of the pews in this chapel, and she you see as she looks very determined up at one of the top backs of one of the pews, and she backs up a little bit and then does a quick running jump, and she leaps and she lands perfectly, and she balances and she raises out her hands, and so she walks foot after foot very carefully, and you see just the joy in her face as she then suddenly gets the look of determination. And she her brow furrows, and she leaps forward and stands on her hands and pushes her whole body up and does a handstand. And the joy in her face is even stronger now as her tail whips around, and you can see that she's about to leap again, and then you hear Emiria, and suddenly her eyes fill with fear. She slams down onto her back, and she kind of falls off the pew, and she scrambles, and she looks up, and you look up, You had been so distracted, you didn't see a woman of about middle age and very tightly pulled back black hair is looking at her in very similar simple robes, and she's clasping her hands together, and wrapped around her arm are these large red stone prayer beads that seem to be shaped into a spike, and she says, Miria, that's now the third time today. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Miss Sister Frida. I'll get back to sweeping. And you hear the clicking of her tongue as Sister Frida steps forward. Miria, you know why you sweep, don't you? And she kind of hesitates. Miria, you have to answer my questions. Because I have the devil inside me. Exactly.
What?
You have the devil inside me. And why do you sweep and why do you stay busy? Because being busy and keeping busy will keep me away from wickedness. Exactly right. And now I've only caught you 3 times being derelict in your duties. If you don't stay busy and you don't keep sweeping, the devil will take you. The devil inside of you. You are wicked, and only suffering can bring you to the light. Do you have your beads? And you can see a look of horrible realization as she starts to sniff. Yeah. And Amira goes over, and you see down on the ground that there are beads similar to what Sister Frida's doing, what Sister Frida's holding. And Amira grabs some, and they are, compared to her small body, way larger in comparison. And you see her as she reaches back and starts unbuttoning the back of her shirt, just leaving bare skin.
Do I feel like I can move or talk?
Not yet.
Okay.
And all you can do is watch. And she says, "It's okay. Go ahead, Amiria." And she whips it around, and you can see now her back is entirely scarred. And you think now you've never seen Amiria's back at all. As it flogs her back, blood is bright on her rust-colored skin, and she yelps out in pain and winces. Again. And Amiria looks up hopefully at Sister Frida. Again. Again. Can I please stop? Again. And she keeps doing it over and over again. Again. Amiria is sobbing, and suddenly she yelps out in pain, and she's so exhausted from pain as she stumbles forward to her knees and drops her prayer beads. They clatter on the stone floor. And Sister Frida looks and says, "You still have the wickedness in you." And she starts to reach and to grab the beads. And Vandris, you suddenly feel, you watch this, and you feel the blade at your hip. You feel it, and it is your trusty weapon. And it is the most enticing thing in the world right now, as she begins to reach down and says, "I suppose I will take over, keeping the devil at bay." What do you do?
As soon as I am able to vocalize anything, because I will have felt like I've been trying to speak this whole time, I'm going to, Amiria, no! What is going on? And I will immediately dash as fast as I can towards this nun that is grabbing the beads and say, "You can't touch her!" And I will draw the blade and stab the nun.
You do that. And you leap forward, and you see a bit of recognition, and there is just deadness in Amiria's eyes. As she is, the ground is stained with blood. Her dress is stained with blood. Her beads are now held by Sister Frida. And as she stands up and rears back, and Miriam immediately just flinches in pain. You have no idea how often this has happened. As she gets ready to swing down, suddenly blood splatters all over your face, Vandris. And you almost lose control of yourself. And you, as it stays in her, the blade pierces out the other side. You look her in the face and you say 2 words. For Edward. She ignites into blue fire, shrieking and screaming in agony. As you did not stab her in the heart, you were being so used to killing people and getting that instant killing blow, but no, you stabbed her right in the gut and you watch her burn. And you see the Emiria look up at you, and she looks at Sister Helen, and she looks back at you and says, "Thank you." And as you watch her burn, shrieking, she immediately kicks the broom aside and just sprints out of the chapel. And suddenly, as you watch the blue fire burn, suddenly it turns to violet, and then your eyes burst and you are consumed by it. So, all of your consciousness...
Only Vandra saw that?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So I just need to pretend that my moral conscience didn't just get wrecked.
Shudders in Victoria.
Oh, God.
Suddenly, the scene that you've seen is you just watching Trunko walk away, and you feel very warm-hearted. Vandris, however, on the other hand, comes back. And suddenly the flame bursts, and you feel heat. It is oppressive, and it feels like a wet heat. And all you see is green all around you, as you realize that you are in a dense jungle. And rising up in crumbling stone are these ancient ruins. You can't tell how many centuries or thousands of years old they are, carved into strange designs as you see the ruins of might be a temple or maybe even a city here. And you look behind you, and this is definitely a city, as you see the crumbled stones all around. And you see a figure looking dead ahead. It's a humanoid silhouette, a relatively thin man, as well as tall, in sweat-stained beige clothing. As he looks forward and rubs his chin, you can see that his short brown hair is all disheveled, as if he's been through hell. And you see that his gaze is going past these 2 large pillars, and he's staring out at a glinting, glimmering artifact of some kind. It seems to be shaped into some sort of fruit of some kind, with gems all around it, where there might be the natural bulbs on this elaborate tropical-looking fruit. And you see as this thin man, very clearly human, extends a hand. Monum, as a spectral pink and magenta hand floats very carefully through past the pillars, over this idol, and reaches down very slowly. As soon as it touches it, it immediately gets dispelled. I didn't think that would work. Mr. Radamanthus, fetch me my hat. And you see, finally, you look to the right, as Orpheus, now a young man, also in the same kind of outfit, steps forward, holding a tall top hat with a red rim. As he steps over, and the man grabs it and puts it on his head and turns around to face him. You know this man. This is Triton Azran. This is the professor that you all met up with months and months ago. It feels like a lifetime ago that you all... Yeah. This was 5.5 years ago.
Half a decade.
Yikes.
And he puts the hat on and he rubs his chin. You can tell that he hasn't shaved in a while. His stubble is coming in very thick, and he has sunken eyes, and Orpheus looks the same.
And he says, well, there seems to be at least some sort of enchantment on the relic, and although we've lost the rest of our companions on this expedition, Mr. Adamanthus, I must ask you of one final request. And Orpheus looks and he kind of rolls his eyes and he says, do you want me to just go get the thing? Well, that is why I did take on an acrobat onto this expedition. And you have proven yourself capable at surviving, dodging dinosaurs and carnivorous plants. I see why you would not die terribly due to ancient traps. And Orpheus just kind of folds his arms and shakes his head, and you can see that he's been through a lot. And he says, well, that being said, now that we're here, what did you say this artifact was again? And Triton immediately turns to you and his eyes go wide. And he says, this is why we are here, Mr. Radamanthus. This is the idol of Opuntia. It is you see the image there. It's carved into a prickly paw fruit. And so it is an ancient prized relic of the local grung in the area. No one has been able to retrieve it. And I intend to ensure that it ends up in a museum where it belongs, not just rotting here in this jungle. And Orpheus kind of takes a step around him and looks and says, I know that I'm doing this for class credit, and I'm not an actual archaeologist yet, but if we take this, what will happen to there's got to be a reason why these grung have put protective charms on this. Well, yes, of course, it helps with the growth of their fruit and all the crops, and that doesn't matter. Just fetch the damn thing, Mr. Admanthus. And Orpheus says, I admittedly may have snoozed through a few of my classes when I was studying grung and chalk, and I'm shocked I survived this long. What will happen to these grung if they lose this idol and maybe the fruit all withers and dies? We don't know what it'll do. And you see Triton turn and says, Are you Mr. Adamanthus? Are you implying that I have ill intentions? Well, no, of course not. Well, then, my good man, I would ask you to please fetch the relic, use your flip, and where Lucas was unable to retrieve it, I would ask that you please retrieve it yourself. You are an acrobat. You're stronger than he is. Do not tell him that. I do not care what happens. It is not relevant to us. We will come back as heroes. I will live up to my father's name, and his father before him, and his mother before him. And this is going into the greatest place, the greatest prized position in the museum of Anzu, and you will be greatly rewarded. I will ensure that if you do this, I will make sure I pull the strings of my family's renowned name to ensure that you don't have to take any more classes. I know you hate those. I will make sure that you graduate with your degree. You'll graduate by next semester, and you can sleep through all the classes like you always do. And you see Orpheus. You see Orpheus think for a moment, and he thinks, and he looks back in your direction, doesn't quite make eye contact, and he says, I just can't shake the feeling this is wrong. It's the grung, and you hear Triton snap. The frogs, for God's sake! Mr. Adamanthus, fetch the damn artifact! And
And you see as he reaches down to his side and he pulls out a heavy leather case with a sigil of a top hat with an A inside, and he opens it up and he closes it and he opens it back up again, and he says, you are going to place the artifact in my case, and you will graduate by next semester, or you will be expelled from the institute. And Orpheus just kind of turns and he thinks for a bit. What do you do?
I need you to say the grung as Christopher Walken first.
Wow, the grung. You know, I took this artifact and I didn't know. I would make sure that it would never be found. I hid it up my ass. Have you ever... Wow. The Isle of Opuntia, it was in my ass.
Oh, God! What a brilliant Pulp Fiction reference.
On command!
Wow.
Mike, thank
Yeah.
Where did this come from?
you. When he said
I felt the grung curses in me.
when he said the grung
very
as
nice.
Orpheus, I heard it as Christopher Walken. I was like, I have to ask him to say it. Thank you, Mike.
Okay.
As soon as
Very serious thing.
as soon as I feel like I can move and talk again, I'm going to Amelia. No, where are we? What the?
Amelia.
I think I was dreaming.
But you're awake.
I know. I don't know what's going on here. Something is playing tricks on us. It's Orpheus. Orpheus.
What do you want, Vandris? Wait, who are you and how did you get here? What?
He remembered you.
You remember?
Here we
Just
are.
like you told him to. How's Trunko?
Trunko. Poor Trunko.
What?
What do you
What do you
mean?
mean, poor Trunko?
Hey,
Professor,
what's going on? What are you doing?
he's not going to fetch that artifact. I say that, Triton.
You see Triton turn. Did I have more research assistants than I thought I left with, or did I drink from the wrong pool? Who are you?
Hello, I'm Sylvie Flickerwicket of the Bug Possum Flickerwickets. Unpleased to meet you.
And I curtsy.
Well, I'm Triton Azran of the Anzu Institute of Archaeology. I'm sure you've heard of
And
me.
a butthole, too.
That is besides the point. What are you doing here, and why have you interrupted the work of myself and my assistant?
None of that matters, and we're not going to let you bully Orpheus.
Well, it does kind of matter.
This is his job.
Because your work is really bad.
My work is important.
It's bad.
It's archaeology.
It's
It's
bad.
preserving historical significance. Bringing it to a museum where it belongs. Do you understand that? Do you understand that?
But when preserving historical significance destroys current significance, like grung, I think the current grung population is more important. Otherwise, there will be no history of the grung to be archaeologicalized in the future. Idiot.
I already explained this. I already explained this to Mr. Adamanthus.
We heard you.
I have been through so much the past weeks. I've been through a lot.
Really? Did you happen to eat some of these weird little gummies that were shaped like bears, but no one told you they were diet, and then you had to use the bathroom for 14 hours straight afterwards? Because if that didn't happen to you, your week hasn't been so bad.
That is oddly specific.
Yeah, I know. Don't ever get the gummies at that inn.
Not exactly, but something similar.
That's all I'm saying.
Are you... Based on what we just heard, you had more people on your expedition,
Yes, these things happen.
and they're all dead!
They're all due to their own foolishness.
I felt bad for you, Professor.
Why would you feel bad for
Your
me?
fate.
Ooh. Make a intimidation check.
Oh,
Because we know what
shit.
happens.
Yeah.
We know what happens. Can I twist this?
You may.
How many twists do we have? Fuck, we haven't played
I don't
Primal.
know.
We've got one
We
left
have at
now.
least one.
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you, Chad.
That was.
Oh, that's worse.
Put it in.
Oh boy.
I'm proficient though, so we'll see what this looks like.
You don't know what the DC is. I'll go coffee while you roll that.
We do. What's the DC?
Hold on. Sorry, D&D Beyond is
Chuckle Liz!
Well, we're not so sure now. Maybe
No,
what we're
not
doing has
proficient.
no bearing on the past. Let's kill the professor.
I got an 8, which is probably accurate of what would happen in the situation. We'll stall while our DM gets coffee. Isn't that cool? Isn't this a nice tie-in? And I think, and we'll talk about more about this in Adventures in Chill, but obviously there's an Azran here. There'll be lots of questions for those that
He
tuned in during
immediately...
Curse of
Oh,
Shock.
sorry.
Triton Azran, this NPC that he's playing, actually was one of the first NPCs that we met and predated Clayton Azran by at least 4 years, right?
Wow, yeah.
So, fun fact, we'll talk more about it in Adventures in Chill.
Yeah.
And anyway,
Back to you, Mike.
back to you, Mike.
As soon as you say that, Triton immediately snaps his head to you, and he closes the distance very quickly. Fate, you know nothing of fate, Mr. Stonehearth. You know nothing of fate. You know nothing of what I have to do. We all have to do what we must for ourselves. You understand that? My gods, man. I've been here in the jungle for a month. I've seen everyone that I came with except for this skinny boy. Slaughtered. And I survive because my fate is not to die here. My fate is to get that artifact.
Oh,
This is going to put me on the map. This is going to make me not an embarrassment to my family name. None of you must know what it's like to have expectation. None of you must know what it's like to have people demand something for simply being born. For something existing. I didn't ask for that. But everyone expects something of me, and I'm going to get that fruit idol.
Okay, then go grab it.
But by your own words, Orpheus is going to do what's best for him to survive. And I'm not going to watch you push him around.
As a teacher, isn't that the lesson you should be teaching him then?
He is going to be rewarded handsomely to ensure that I retrieve the relic into this case. If he disobeys a request made by the head chief archaeologist, then I have no choice but to write him up and to expel him. I have that authority. I at least have the Azran name, even if I am out of grace.
I open up my book and flip to one of the last pages. I pull out my quill.
Unhinged archaeologist loses his mind in the deserts of chalk?
Jungles, but
Jungles of chalk, completely destroying the Azran family name. Fired from his position as professor at the Azranist Institute, I think you said. Wouldn't that be horrible if that got out?
I don't think.
Threatens students to do his work. Unwilling to teach.
I think I would get a pat on the back if that went out. All that matters is putting that into a museum. Do you understand that?
Incapable of doing things on his own.
Aye.
Needs
Do you run a
others.
newspaper, woman?
Do I? Nobody could. I'd be really good at it.
Selvi makes a good point.
Oh, my name's Sylvie, not Shelby.
You can take the artifact, but this skinny lad, he won't do it. And I'm gonna grab him by the arm or whatever I can grab, and I'll pull Orpheus behind me.
And he looks at all of you and Orpheus. Vandra, how do I know your name? But I need this job. It is wrong. It's wrong, I think. But I need this. This is all I have. I wanted to travel the world without doing literally no work.
The point is, whatever you decide, it's your choice.
Sympathize with me. I want to take money from old rich people and travel the world and do nothing.
That sounds really awesome,
I know, I have a noble quest.
but at the expense of the entire Grum population?
You don't need to go to college to do that. Just become a scam artist.
Worked for me for a while.
Use your inherent charisma.
I don't know. How can I travel the world with just my inherent charisma?
Worked out for me for a while.
And immediately, who's in front of Orpheus?
I am.
Immediately, the professor, Triton Azran, rubs his face. I tire so much of this. Mr. Adamanthus, I suggest that you get over there, use your acrobatics, retrieve the relic, put it in my case, and we will all go home and we will all be rewarded handsomely. And Orpheus is going to look at all of you and is kind of he steps back a minute, and he says, I think you're right. I think you're right. I'm sorry. I have to do this. And he steps forward and says, Professor, could you at least loosen it up a bit? Come with me. And Professor Triton Azran nods. He sighs. Finally, I've had enough of back-talking research assistants and interns for the last time. And Orpheus looks back one more time and at you and says, "You think that this is worth it?" What do you say?
No, it's not. I don't think you should do this.
But why?
Because principles matter.
You'd be trading the lives of all these people here just so you could have a moderately cushy life.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Who?
Probably Rudek.
Oh, shit.
Oof.
6.
Jeez Louise.
What they're saying is correct. But at the end of the day, you're an individual who has to make a choice. And either way, I'm not going to stop you. But you have to do what you know is right.
As soon as you say the individual who needs to make a choice, he stops for a moment, and a bit of magenta kind of shimmers and fades from Triton's eyes, and kind of washes over Orpheus. The freedom to make a choice. Professor, I'm listening to my voice. It's Professor. Yes, Mr. Adamanthus. I will get you that artifact. But I insist you go first. He shoves Triton Azran in, and as he stumbles forward, he starts he goes, as this horrific purple and orange poison erupts out of all of the slots in the stone, and it almost has a magical sheen on it. As you see, as it hits his face and his skin and his eyes, and he tries to cast some sort of protective charm or spell, but it's too late.
Use Armatus. Do it, please. Oh, God.
Oh, God!
As
may have fucked up here.
As he pushes Triton Azran in, and you see as he's holding, or I guess the case was floating next to him, as he collapses, and you see that as his face shrinks and his all the vessels in beneath his skin go absolutely necrotic as he collapses down. And as soon as he breathes one last, the case shakes and then blinks out of your view.
Oh my God.
I did not foresee that happening. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I made a seriously fucked up mistake here.
What?
It's not your responsibility.
Well, what happens when we're supposed to meet him later down the line?
I don't think any of this.
No, that motherfucker deserved it. Ah! As his eyes blast.
Oh no!
In silver, in violet flame, as it engulfs all of you.
Oops.
I don't think he learned the right lesson.
I thought I was doing the right thing.
That's why he becomes a villain.
As
It was Vandus all along. It was Vandus all along.
as your sight, except for you, Annulin.
Oh boy.
Buckle up.
Except for you, Annulin.
It's a big girl
Suddenly, you
pants
see the pool of poison, and it starts to circle around and swirl, as then it starts to shimmer and shake, and then turn into a perfect sphere of shimmering silvery blue light. You realize that it's actually water in a basin of stone and wood with strange arching carvings all around it. And you realize that you smell the air around you and it feels ancient, full of life and nature. As you look around and you're in a beautiful glade. The trees are around you. There's a beautiful lake stretching out very far. The full moon is above you, shimmering and shaking. You hear the hoot of giant owls, and it booms out, and you see that there are dozens sitting in the trees all around you. You hear low, heavy breathing of beasts, and you look around, and there's massive grizzly bears, huge saber-toothed panthers lurking in this glade, and you see that there are now dots of humanoid shapes all around. And they're tall and thin and elven, and you can see that they have mostly the garb of the druids and the rangers of the Thornwilds. And you see standing at this pool an imposing figure for an elf, and it's very clearly a wood elf wearing a headdress with the image of a moon and tall antlers and owl feathers hanging down, and in long robes. And he turns and he swirls his finger around in this pool of almost of perfect shimmering moonlight. And it shimmers and shakes, and you hear a hoot almost from within. And you see the pool starts to shake and show an image. And almost from a bird's eye view, you see fire, flame. And you see the sight that you thought you had just escaped from this mountaintop. Marching fire giants. Not marching, sprinting. And you hear the barking of hounds. And you hear a quick war horn carved out of antler and cries as a fire giant raiding party thunders down into the village of Erlamel. And you hear the people screaming as they are attempting to gather their things, attempting to run away. But these giants have massive strides, and their hellhounds are even faster. And you see as they're about to destroy your village, you hear a voice. Arlon, please. Please, let's do something. We can save them now if we leave right now. And you see Arlon Mooncaller, the druid that you had all met so long ago. He stares indifferently. You remember, don't you? You remember what our Thorn Mother ordered. Yes, I know we can't waste resources, but we can't waste precious plants and animals and lives to save it. But this is my town. This is my people. This is my family. Ronmir, have I taught you nothing? Have all of the years of your tutelage been for naught? What do you mean? What do you mean this is my family? They're going to die! And he's sniveling and crying, and you almost don't recognize Ronmir. He was always this strong figure. He almost looks like a boy. You're not sure how old he is. You know that it's him. As the long, straight silver hair of Arlon Mooncaller goes down to his chest, and he turns and he places a fatherly hand on his shoulder. And he says, "You must remember, each of us, our individual wants, our individual desires, our families. You should not care. It is all in the service of the planet. We are just servants of the planet, servants of our Thorn Mother. What the Thorn Mother says is final. You know she has never changed her mind. You know this to be true." Ronmir's crying, and he looks around at all of the elves around him and says, I don't care. I don't want to sacrifice that. I don't want to sacrifice it for the planet or any forest. I don't care what the Thorn Mother says. Please, friends, help me. And he looks around. He's desperate. He's weeping. Please, friends, we can just join me. We don't need Arlon. We're strong enough without him. Please. And they all look, and there's actually a little bit of hesitation. You can tell that they don't want to see their companion in this kind of pain, and you kind of start to feel this sadness and this anger that's welling up in Ronmir. Start to kind of also make the animals get agitated. You hear as the bears start to kind of look around, and the panthers are snarling, and you see an elk or a stag is pawing at the ground, and the ruffling feathers of the owls, the giant owls, and you see Arlon look completely indifferent. You know, this is none of our concern. You know this is not our way. As long as I live, you shall not leave this glade and send your lives foolishly to Erlamel. This is what they deserve for living outside of the protection of the Thorn Wilds, for trading with dwarves. The Thorn Mother had warned them all. This is the cycle of life, the cycle of nature. You shall listen to your Thorn Mother as I do, for the planet. Annulan, what do? You stand there watching the scene, the moon glowing, shimmering down as it shimmers on this, and you feel, for a second, look around at these animals. They're getting agitated. The elves are very stoic, but the owls, the bears, and the panthers, they are getting frustrated. They are feeling the pain of Ronmir. And they all turn, and you can kind of see, it's almost like they're looking at you, almost waiting a command, a word. And you feel like you could command them with a single word if you wanted to. What do you do?
Oof. A single word. I would look around at all of the birds and the beasts and everything around me and look at Ronmir and try to bring some calm to him just through eye contact and tell them to rise.
They as soon as you tell them to rise, they immediately snarl and they look at you. And you know that what you've told them is to break the animal handling and the conditioning that they've been put under by this band, the Thornwatch. And Arlon does not expect, as the silent predator, the giant owl, sinks its talons into him. He does not scream as he is torn apart savagely, as the panthers, the bears, all descend upon him, the owls, all the creatures. He's gored by the stags as they all take turns and just absolutely eviscerating, tearing apart this elf. It looks like a bit of the cycle of nature, the cycle of life and death, just like he said. And until nothing is left but blood on the grass, and suddenly explodes into violent flame. And you feel like, in that moment, that you did exactly what you had to save your family, and they would be saved, and you did everything you had to. With a single word. And all of your consciousness returns.
Romney.
Sorry about this.
Rodak grumbles.
What are all of you making noises about? Are you okay? You
Your
look
consciousness
verklempt.
explodes back into you. You feel the heat of flame. You feel the rumbling of earth, the splashing of water, crackling, wind whips all around you. You hear and see gyrating, wild, chaotic energy, crackling all above you. Bodies flying up around. You look and you feel this, and you feel like reality itself is warping all around you. And you look and you're in almost a cube-shaped room with a hole at the top, as a massive, swirling, gyrating portal to limbo is above you, and blasting out is chaotic limbo energy as dozens, countless Slotty, slaving ready for the kill, burst out, rising up through the volcano. As you see a familiar scene. This has been months ago since you did this. And then you see on the ground, no, something's not right. You see a splash of blood, Anglin. It was the blood where Arlon had been in your sight. And all you see is shattered armor and bronze scales torn apart. As you then see ravenous-looking toad creatures, Slotty, tearing apart and devouring Ganji. And you look up, and you hear a final scream as you see a glimpse of Anglin. You see yourself as you scream, getting sucked into the chaotic portal. As you enter for a brief moment, you see your body rend and contort in ways, and all you can hear is a crunch as you disappear and blink out of this plane. You see, off ahead, Rodak slumped off to the side, leaning against the prison of Lucia and Ziri's sister, the Afrida, is screaming in pain, being channeled by Orpheus. And you see, and you look and you see Rodak, he's sitting up, but his sword is at his side. His eyes are just vacant, and he's just staring off. You see that he's been just horrifically crushed in several places and slashed and singed. And then you see Sylvie. Sylvie is just a few feet from Rodak. And you see as she's on her stomach and she's holding up a tiny hand as if in her last moment she had been trying to save Rodak's life and she lost her own. And then you hear your own voice, Vanders. You son of a bitch! And as you hear your own screams, as Orpheus turns around as you stab him through, but he just laughs and snaps his fingers. And just like the first time you met him, you are ignited into flames. And he laughs maniacally as all five of you have been completely slain, but you're all standing there again. As he is laughing. I finally did it! I did this! And you see his body. It's not the Orpheus that you know and love. His body has turned into the toad-like flesh. He's contorted into that grotesque mutation of limbo. As he rises above, his hands rising to the portal of limbo as the Slotty shoot out. Suddenly, your consciousness and Orpheus in this moment goes all over the world. You see the blast of chaotic energies of limbo smash through as an entire tidal wave of Slotty crash and tear down the buildings of the Anzu Institute of Archaeology. And you see that same familiar town with that drunken posse. the beasts tear through, obliterating it, devouring the screaming inhabitants, you see that same cliff face, where once had been such rigid. This is a little bit up for you. Where there was once rigid control and law, people are now screaming and running for their lives as the Slotty tear through and bursts of chaotic energy tear through. Everything has been broken. Everything has been leading into this. And he looks up and you can see that there's absolute awe and adoration and beauty in the sense of achievement that very few have ever seen. I did it. I did it. What do you do?
Oh, I'm dead.
You stand and you're seeing your own bodies.
Oh.
What is going on? It didn't happen like this. We won.
I'm just gonna run over to my dead body.
I thought we were helping him.
I would start shouting for Orpheus.
I would start running towards my dead body, and let me know when I would get there.
Both of you get to your bodies around the same time, and you see, and you're looking at yourself, and you realize with all the chaotic magic, everything shifting around you, and the gravity is, you feel like you remember gravity shifting around, but in this victory, Orpheus has stopped all of that, and all he is doing is admiring his victory. You get to your bodies, what do you do?
None of it matters. None of anything that we do ever matters. Just no matter how many people we save, or how many times we try and make Orpheus a good Orpheus, we just have to watch horrible, horrible things over and over and over again, and not even eating dirt is gonna make it any better.
Is this even real?
We know how to end this. And I will take my King Crum's cleaver, and I see that the one that I have is in my dead hands. I will take it and try to break the lock of the Afrita.
Oh!
Well played.
Yeah, make an athletics check on that as you do that. What are you guys doing?
I would be shouting to Orpheus, Orpheus, please, listen to me. I don't want to do this. You have to stop. Snap out of it.
As soon as your voice rings out, Rodef, you slam down onto this, and what did you get?
I got a 12. Sorry.
A 12. You clang onto it, and you're blasted back by that same magic that it just feels all too familiar. Vandris, you call out, and as you do that, you hear his voice, his laughing. What do you want, Vandris? Can't you see that I'm busy? You keep doing this. No, this is my victory. I killed you. What are you doing? And he looks and he sees the bodies. What is going on?
Orpheus, this didn't happen. This isn't you anymore. You gotta snap out of it.
Thought I won. I won. What? But and you can see him wince as he's clutching his head. I can hear that. I won. It was beautiful. I'm destroying everything. The destruction. It's beautiful. I broke it. I broke all of it. I broke the law. I broke order. This is what everyone wants.
You didn't win. This is not how it happened. This is madness, Orpheus. You know as well as we do.
This is not what everyone wanted. What we wanted was all the good things that you've done. That's what makes you win. All the times you've helped us and your friends.
You see his eyes start to glaze over a little bit. He's grabbing his head, and he looks at all of you, and he says, "No, I don't want this.
No.
I want it. Am I good? Am I bad? I don't know anymore. But it won't stop. It won't stop. It won't stop. The whispers. The destruction."
Go forward and put a hand on him.
He's flying up.
Oh, he is.
Yeah,
Okay.
he's in his,
I'm not going to do
in his
that.
tomb form, basically.
we do?
I'm worried that stress might kill him. Clearly something's going on up there.
I don't know how else we stop it. Besides stopping him.
Well, we don't stop it.
What do you mean?
Well, we've tried. We tried when he was a little boy, and we tried when he was a teenager, and we tried when he was a young adult, and nothing that we did made a difference.
But he's our friend. You don't give up on your friends.
He gave up on us.
As I look down at my dead body.
Something's at play here. We know that this isn't what happened. Something is going on. We just have to figure out what.
Both of you have ways to stop him right now. Do it.
I don't
What do
know
you
what you're
mean?
talking about.
How?
Shoot him.
No.
I don't want to hurt him.
And you see him raise both of his hands at you. I killed you.
I'm gonna stand
Once-
up, dust myself off, and I'm gonna look at him.
Then kill me again, Orpheus. For you were my friend, and I would never raise my hand or my magic against you. If this is what you want, then do it.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
I really don't want to have to put him down. 23.
He holds out his hands. I can kill you again. I am powerful.
And I would still love you.
And he holds out his hand, and you see the blast of chaos emerge at all of you. And remember, they had the arcing blasts, and they all go towards all of you. And suddenly, I don't. As his chaotic toad-like form shifts and shakes, and it shrinks back into him, and then bursts into violet flame, and starts to consume him. But he stops as all of a sudden the chaos of limbo is then consumed in violet flame and shrinks back down. All of your consciousness except for Sylvie shrinks away.
So mentally weak right now. This is not gonna be good.
I know this was not my intention. This ain't my intention, folks. I'm just letting you know this is gonna be fun.
Buckle up.
Can I get some of that fireball? Hold on, I have to add a shot to my cocoa.
I'm sure, Chad, if you're not watching a lot of Prime, this seems a little weird, but don't worry, I'm going somewhere with this.
Thanks. One more second. Yikes.
Woo!
That's a bog possum hot cocoa if I've ever had one. Okay, fuck me up, Mike.
You
Just fuck my shit up.
Just fuck my shit up, Pam.
You're standing there, and you're looking back, and you have the biggest smile on your face. You just got a fortune told by the pretty lady in the tent. And she told you that not only are you not worthless, that you're special, that you're beautiful, that you are not just special, you're the most special.
Totally.
You're the seventh daughter of a seventh daughter for 7 generations. You are not the moon child, you are the star child. You are the maiden. You are the blue rose. You are everything, and you are destined for greatness. And you actually believed it. And you turn around and you just felt this suddenly come to you as you look, and you're a lot smaller than you remember, even though you were small before. And you're telling all of these people, you're telling your siblings, you're telling Okra and Andui, and you see Evangeline off on the side, and you realize that what Orpheus had been floating is a big banner that says the Whipper Wallow Jamboree. You hear the jug band playing off on the corner, and you see the swamp up all around you. It's this massive fair built onto a floating barge that came by every year. And you see Eugene, and you see your parents. You see your siblings, and they all are looking at you like you're crazy. As you turn around, and there's no town. There's no fortune teller. Madame Zostra's Emporium of Mysterium is gone. You were certain that had been there. You were sure. And suddenly, you don't know what's happening anymore. And then you hear a voice turn. You're not special, Sylvie. As you turn around, and it's your entire family. Not just your siblings and your parents, but your extended family, as well as everyone from Bog Possum, your home, everyone that you've ever met, your schoolmates. And they all look like there's almost like a shadow over their faces. They're all grinning and sneering in derision at you. And you hear your father, Buford, step forward and say, This ain't the Flicker Wicked way. Now, you gotta stop this talk about being special. You are worthless, Sylvie. You ain't special. You are generic. You do not follow the Flicker Wicked way. You are useless. And after all the times trying, you couldn't even manage to be a boy. Sylvester. And with that, you hear everyone start to chuckle and snicker. And then Buford pulls back his lips, and he has his gnarled, stained teeth, most of them missing. And he said, as he starts to belly laugh, everyone surrounding you belly laughs. And you feel a bit of the wisp of air on your hair, and you smell the stench of the swamp, so much more potent. And you realize that from where the tent was, you feel a presence. You feel like it's a friendly presence, a warm, inviting presence, like a grandmother's hug. But you wouldn't know what a grandmother's hug, but it's what you imagined it would be like. A grandmother who loves you. And you suddenly feel that in that moment, you are special. And you're not just special, you're the most special.
Yeah.
That you are the seventh daughter for 7 generations.
Yep.
You are the star child.
Yeah.
And a bit of you flashes back to everything that Orpheus had felt that he could achieve and channel. And suddenly you feel that all you had to do is everyone is screaming, laughing. You're fucking useless. You're worthless. You'll never be special or loved. As you laugh, and suddenly you feel like all you need to do is you feel a frail hand snake up next to yours and attempt to grab it. And all you have to do is grab her hand, and you can do whatever you want. And you can show them, you can prove to them that you're special.
I'll reach up and I'll squeeze onto the hand. And then I'll look out over my family and...
That's the funniest joke I've ever heard, Papa! Because the thing is, I am special though, and one day you'll know it. And I don't need you to know it now, because I know in my heart of hearts, Sylvie Flickerwicket, thank you very much, didn't need to be a boy. Sylvie Flickerwicket needed to be what Sylvie Flickerwicket was, and what Sylvie Flickerwicket is, and what Sylvie Flickerwicket will be. So, Pawpaw, you can laugh at me all you want, but I love you, 'cause you're my pawpaw. And one day you'll love me too. I just know it. And so, with that,
And I'll take a bow.
Sylvie Flicker Wicket out, motherfuckers.
And I'm going to turn around and walk away.
You do that, and where the gnarled hand with the fingers is there, suddenly it's gone as you turn and walk away, and you see Buford step forward. No, wait a minute, you can't just... And he erupts into violet flame, and you are once again consumed by the violet flame. As it burns you, your brain is racked, and suddenly all of your consciousness shifts back to another scene.
Daddy, no! Hi, Annalyn. You're not my dad.
I know.
Yeah, you're not my dad!
I'm sorry.
You are standing.
I don't know what I did.
Well, once again, you smell deep, fragrant spices, and you feel the gust of dry wind through a window. The light blares in, scorching, almost blinding. And from not just the windows, but a large skylight that opens up and floods this room, and you can tell that it seems to be some sort of workshop or library or some sort of sanctum for some strange person. As you look out the windows, as your eyes adjust to the blazing sun that beats down on endless sand as far as you can see in the middle of the desert, and you see little dots on the sand below, and you are incredibly high up. You have no idea how tall this tower, that you realize you must be in a tower now. And you see very far below you rows, a chain gang of prisoners, slaves, you're not sure, as they are trudging, heaving massive stone blocks. You hear the clanking of building far below you, and you turn around and you feel like you're alone, and then you hear, and you turn and you see there's actually a bed in this strange chambers. You see magical artifacts from all over the world. As you look all around, and hanging above his bed, you see a beautiful necklace, orange phoenix feathers, almost like a dream catcher, above an ancient man. You see, is he human? You're not sure. This man is so old, he looks more like a withered piece of bark than a man. As you see him raise his hand, and suddenly the sky starts to get darker as you see this massive circle around his bed. You realize it's the same shape. As the sun blinks out, suddenly it's night. All you can see is the stars, and you see that beyond the starlight there's a massive, strange, arcane telescope that arcs out in all sorts of directions. It's swirling with magic. As you see the hand reach out, and suddenly the stars rush down towards you, and the desert is engulfed. There is no moon, there is no stars. The stars rush past you, whizzing past even the windows of the tower. You have no idea, but you almost feel like you're being rocketed towards the stars, and then you suddenly there's no more stars. There's a wall of black void, nothing. And he reaches out, and his eyes, ancient and hollow, glassy in his old age, start to well with tears, and it's almost as if he sees the most beautiful sight, and he heaves himself up as if trying to fly, and his eyes roll back, and he falls. His breath, his last breath, finishes. and you are alone in this tower. And then you suddenly feel there's a void around you, above you. You feel presence. You can't explain it, and then you hear those horrible whispers. Your minds are racked, and suddenly the man explodes into flame. You see the man as he doesn't let out a sound, but his frail human body ignites and erupts as it's burning all around him.
Who calls the flame? I'm getting to that.
Okay. Sorry. I just saw an opportunity. I took it.
Yeah. Don't ask questions.
I know. I shouldn't have. I should know better.
Let me just get this. Sorry, this is.
No, that's fine.
It's like asking a question in a movie before the next scene answers that question.
Yeah, I know.
It ignites,
the room. Sorry.
and it is not.
Sorry, start that in and it ignites again.
The body is burning, and
Or not.
if this man was alive, he'd be screaming. And rather than that orange glow of flame, it is in horrible violet, as it consumes not just him, but also the necklace that acted as his dream catcher above his bed. It ignites and then bursts out as the entire room starts catching on violet flame. As it starts to burn all around you, you hear the crackling and crumbling of the bookshelves of his instrument. They all start to melt and crumble. And then through the flame, you can just see the smoldering corpse of this wizard. Unmistakably, the story, it sounds familiar, Harazad, the Stargazer. The one whom Enziri had loved so deeply and had been tricked by so terribly. And then he rises. He heaves himself out of bed, and he steps forward, and he walks into the center of the room, and you see nothing but a silhouette in violet flame. And as it starts to burn, it's not a human. You see a tail snaking out, 2 horns curving back. As suddenly, the flame starts to shrink back, and you see the face of your friend, Orpheus Radamanthus. I have seen it. I have heard the violet flame. I have heard it. I have heard the violet flame. I must destroy, and only renewal and good can come from destruction. That's all it can. I must destroy. And he looks at all of you, and I'll start with you, so you will get out of my head. Roll for initiative.
No!
Flame burst out from around Orpheus.
Holy shit!
Do you need to run to safeway?
No! Fuck no! I appreciate reminding me. I think I'll
Would
manage.
you like a very large hot pickle?
No, thank you. Next time.
That's
Are
the
you
wrong
sure?
answer.
I'm sure.
It could be
Yes,
this
but
big.
also I would enjoy a dill.
Unbelievable.
Mike, don't do this.
This is unbelievable.
Mike, you don't have to do this.
Yikes!
Drop one.
We know you're good, Mike. We know.
Oh, here.
Is Mike's phone charged?
Oh, no, we don't have the same charger.
That's what this computer
My laptop charger.
Get that computer
I
child.
got a 4. I guess
Oh,
I'll
boy.
wait.
wait.
Yeah. 20 and 25.
More than that.
23.
26.
No.
26 is Vanders, okay.
23.
23 is Annulin. Rodic and Sylvie, what do you get?
9.
4.
Oh, wow.
You should just start asking 35 to 30.
Oh, yeah.
25 to 30.
5. No, 35 to 30, and then 5 to 10.
Assume that Vanders goes first.
Just always.
What you get, Annulin?
23.
23. See, you thought you were going to fight him as your ally, and I duped you there.
Here we go.
You sure did.
This is too much lore, Mike. This is too much
This is a
lore.
big fucking lore drop right here.
Yeah, we're just, the first session's gonna be a warm-up session.
I have a
Anders,
question
you're up.
before we
giant
get into
frog
this.
and
Where did our
war
health
boner.
leave off at the last time?
Oh, as you feel the flame, you remember
Yeah,
that
that's a great question.
healing, rebirthing flame of the phoenix. You feel like you get the benefits of the long rest, especially in this
goodness.
mind state.
Oh, good. I'm so glad I asked.
Dugs.
I've meant to mention that as soon as you got schlooped.
So I recover 1 of my 2 levels of exhaustion.
Right.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, do I have that?
I have 1
It said that I had one. I don't know how. Probably from...
From the heat.
Yeah.
From the heat of the cauldron.
Okay, map, anything? combat theater of the mind here. Okay, now we're going for it. Oh my goodness gracious.
People.
Where are we?
Yours all around, or is at the very center of the room. And, oh shit.
He can be the bird.
No, he's got a token.
Oh, he does?
got to.
They're made of paper.
Oh.
People?
Place under the center. Igniting.
Oh.
He's igniting.
What is this from?
That is from Kid Icarus Uprising. That is a picture of Hades.
No way.
And Richie colored it purple.
Nice.
Nice job.
Everybody get in here. Where do you want to be? Roll around.
There he is.
I'll be over here.
I only have one
Sorry,
fuzzy
where is he?
slipper.
He's
He's in the middle. He's in the dead middle. Okay. Dangerous. The entire room is burning all around you as you feel a deep, dark void and a presence above you as your enemy, your rival, your friend, Orpheus Radamanthus, is igniting in flame, looking at you. Those eyes of violet flame are even looking at you with murderous intent. What do you do?
Okay, all right. I as fast as lightning, I think to myself, I say in a soft whisper, Orpheus, I'm sorry. And I dash at him.
Okay.
And attempt to attack him and stab him.
Okay.
Ooh, that is going to be a 29 to hit.
That'll hit.
And then as I strike, I whisper, for Edward. And I am going to use an inspiration die to do a flourish.
Okay.
A defensive flourish. So that's going to be 6 fire damage. Oh, this was not a great roll. Plus 10, plus, so 15, 16, 17, 20, 21, 20, 27, 35, 39 points of damage, and my AC goes up by 4.
You stab into the flame, and you feel it finding perks of something. It winces forward a little bit with pain, but then he looks up at you, Vanders, and he's just like old times, and he snaps and uses a reaction to a pillar of violet flame shoots up around you.
I'm gonna
Make a
cast
dexterity saving
counterspell.
thing. Oh, you can do that. Yep. And yeah, that'll do it. As it blinks out as he attempts, but as you stab into him, you still
Vanders, no!
you take a bit of flame bursts out from stabbing him as well. You are able to dodge the purple flame, but not from his own body, as you take 11 points of psychic damage.
Oh.
As the flame starts to burn you. As your mind, it burns and it feels like fire, but then your head starts to hurt. You have no idea what's going on. And with that, Daniel, you're up.
Orpheus, this isn't you, please! And I'm gonna load 2 arrows into my bow and loose them at Orpheus. Okay. And he's at below...
He's below max.
A natural 1. Okay. I don't really want to hit him. And a 15.
15. 15 misses, then a natural 1 misses as well. Are you sure you're adding that?
Yes.
Oh wow.
I rolled quite poorly.
Okay. So, but as you fire, the purple flame is in your face. The violet flame is in your face.
And I'm crying.
You're crying, and it
I don't really want to
fires
hurt him.
off into nothingness. With that, he looks all around you, and he's this will be nostalgic. This will be nostalgic. Remember last time? As he bursts out, as it's not just a violet flame, as an incredibly strange eldritch prismatic spray, as colors burst out all around you. I need everyone to make a Constitution.
Ah, damn it!
Hold on, actually, let me make sure.
But I have evasion.
No, it's dexterity saving throw. And you each need to roll a d8.
Bullshit.
And a d8. Okay. It's just
Do we know
straight
what the
dex,
DC
right?
is?
DC is 19.
I failed.
That's gross.
I met it! Yes!
I did not. I'm a big old fail.
And I got a 3 on
Ha-ha.
my D8.
So if you're under what?
I got a 3 on my D8.
Oh, I didn't roll my d8.
Let me roll the damage.
I will help myself to no damage
Okay.
because I have evasion.
You rolled a 3, Sylvie?
Yes.
Oh, wait. Oh, that's...
No,
Wait, do I have that?
Leave that on your monk.
Yeah, okay.
Dang it.
Hunters don't have evasion.
No, not evasion.
So...
I had the dodgy thingy. It's a ring on Luftig. I thought I had a cape
as
here.
it bursts out around you, you feel like something zaps you, Sylvie, and you did dodge it, right?
No.
Okay, you did it, and you are just zapped, and as it hits you, you feel like you've been electrocuted, but once again, your mind is warped, and so everyone will take either full or half of this, depending on what it is. Actually, hold on, 11. Actually, but it depends on what you get, so you may not actually take any damage. That is 11, 14, 18, 26, 29, 32, 32.
The damage range.
42 points of psychic damage. And
Jesus.
as it blasts out at you, what did you get for your D8?
3. Oh,
Okay,
sorry.
so that's the, yep,
4.
4. Let me consult the chart here.
I took
this
42 'cause
blasts
I-
and splashes, and you feel the splash of what looks like horrible poison glowing, but it's once again just psychic damage. It seeps into your flesh and gets into your eyes. The effect on your body almost reminds you of what happened to Triton Azran.
I got a 7.
A 7. Ooh, this is fun.
Uh-oh.
You turned into a house plant.
It was 42 damage?
Yep.
Don't like that.
You get blasted by this strange glowing, almost feels like you got hit by a stone. Now you make a constitution saving throw for me.
Stone!
Yeah.
So I take the damage, right? Because I want to submit that. Constitution is 25.
Wow.
25. You pass, you feel like your body is turning stone.
Oh, shit.
As it blasts, and you manage to resist it. Manage what you get.
I got a 5.
Did you say you're
But I
rock
passed
hard?
my evasion, so I don't know if that matters. But I got a 5 on my D8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You get blasted with it's incredibly cold. You feel like you should be suffering frostbite. But once again, your brain is just racked. Oh, you don't take any of it.
Right.
So you dodge it, and you
But it
have
felt
no
cold as it went
idea. It
past
felt
me.
cold. As it went past you. Exactly right. Exactly right. Okay. With that, Sylvia, it's your turn.
Oh, it is my turn?
Yeah.
I'm gonna rush over to Vandress.
Vandress, show him what for.
I'm gonna put my hand on him, and I'm gonna cast Greater Invisibility on Vandress.
Okay. Suddenly, Vandress blinks out of existence. As far as you can tell.
So if I take an action, will it break it?
No, Greater Invisibility, you're invisible. You can cast spells through it
What?
for
Make
a
sure it's
minute.
not self. Make sure it's not
I
self.
already checked. It is
Okay.
touch.
Holy shit. Oh, he's so fucked.
Okay.
And then for my bonus action, I'm going to quaff a Greater Healing.
You down that healing potion. Rodek, you're up.
I am going to. I'm going to say, Orpheus, I know that this is all in our heads and this won't do anything, but you had the choice! And I'm going to use my bonus action to cast Spiritual Weapon. At
Nice.
the second level. So a spiritual weapon, something like a more tokeny looking token. Then there we go.
It's
That's
just
a pretty good.
inspiration.
That's a pretty
It's
good.
big
token.
though. I don't know if that's too big.
That's fine. And so I'm going to
got swords on it.
use that. It will right next to him a fiery kind of almost spectral orange blacksmithing hammer will erupt into space, and it will as it appears, it'll be mid swing into Orpheus. It'll make an attack. And so that will be an attack roll, I believe.
Got it.
Sorry, all this cleric stuff is new to me here. So that is a 21 to hit.
That hits.
Okay. It
AC's
will
19.
deal 7 points of force damage, I
Okay.
think.
Yep. Slices in, and you feel it makes purchase, and it sizzles from your magical blade.
And then I will walk up to him and use the attack action with my own attack and slice him 3 times. Actually, I will slice him twice. Ooh, that's really bad. A 19 and a 14.
14 fails, 19 hits.
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
I'll make that a menacing attack, so make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. He's got to succeed this. 28. Or no, 21.
Yeah, he passes.
Sorry.
He takes 17 points of magical slashing,
Okay.
and Vandris, take your chance! And I'll use my third attack to make a commanding strike, commanding Vandris to invisibly stab Orpheus in the face at advantage, because you're invisible, presumably.
Yeah, I'm trying
Okay.
to see if I can make some sort of unseen attack.
I
I can't attack them now, right?
This is part of my turn.
Oh, no,
This is part of my
shit,
turn.
yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay.
So I'm attacking invisibly at advantage.
Oh, Derek.
Oh, that's a mess. Okay, sorry,
Don't
Mike.
reach
I'm
out.
distracted. Okay, so I make an attack. I can use my Elven accuracy, reroll one of the dice.
Yep.
It's gonna be a 23 to hit.
That's,
Yeah.
You say it like that's somehow like a low roll.
I was hoping for a natural only. That'll be 8 fire damage, plus...
and you had 6 to that.
Okay, so that'll be 8 plus 6 is 14, plus 5 is 19, 20, 21, oh boy, 22, 23, plus 8 is 31, plus another, nope, plus another 8 is 39 points of
39?
damage.
You stab into him, and it bursts out. No, actually, Rich, I need you to take some fire damage. As he takes that full damage, as his eyes blaze, and we'll just have you both take this damage.
Okay.
Roderick, you attacked him twice, right?
I only hit him once.
Okay, so you'll both take 8 points of psychic damage as the flame licks you from attacking him.
Psychic flame, I
And
see.
as I'm going to roll a...
Second flame.
Actually, where's my percentile die? Wow. When was the last
Can I
time?
move through your spiritual weapon?
When was the last time I
It
fucking...
basically, it's like doesn't exist to you. Right? It's
Okay.
just
Here we go.
hanging out there.
Oh, I should be literally right next to Vandris because I had to touch him.
Oh. So you're
Okay.
right here.
Yeah, I think I probably would have moved back a little bit because I think I could have gotten there. and then-
you have plenty of movement.
Yeah.
There you go.
As this happens, you are standing around him. You're invisible, Vandris. As for a brief instant,
I believe.
you see the Orpheus' eyes blaze. No, I don't want this. No, go away. I don't want to do this. I'm not a villain. I'm not bad. And you see the violet flame starts to shrink and shrink and shrink, and you actually see glimpses of the skin of the tiefling beneath him. No. And you see his eyes for a brief moment before they ignite, and they look to be he's fighting against something inside of his mind as he's trying to cover his ears for a brief moment, and he's like, no, please, no. And suddenly everything in your mind just cracks, and I need everyone to make an intelligence saving throw for me too.
Oh no.
As you all hear horrible
I don't
whispers.
think any of us. This die is going away. Going to hell. There you go. Get out of here.
Oh no, I'm proficient! Yay!
21!
You succeed.
It did me so well on Clayton.
Yes!
16.
I'm not even smart!
Oh boy, 18.
18.
5.
18 is gonna be borderline.
I think it was 19. Because I got an 18
It
on
was
the
19 on the
dex.
last one.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because I got an 18 on the dex.
You got twists.
Yeah, we don't know how many.
Yeah, we actually have no idea.
And I don't think we had that many left in Prime.
No, I don't think so. We probably burned through a shitload.
We
of
did because of the fight.
38 points of psychic damage as it cracks, and everyone who failed is stunned until the end of their next
So
turn.
38 regardless.
If you failed, you take half. Or
What's
if you
the
succeed, you
DC?
take half.
Okay.
19.
Fuck.
19.
38. Okay.
30 damage.
I should have in my notes how much we have.
I thought you were keeping track,
Yeah, I
but
was.
And
Let
I'm
me see.
stunned.
you're stunned as you're not able to move.
I keep
and
my
act here.
concentration, we good.
You just straight up lose your turn, though, right?
You can attempt to do other things. You can't just take an action, right? Like I would say that you're standing there and you feel like
Like, you can talk.
You could talk. You could speak. You won't be able to like go and attack him.
You have
12.
Holy
Oh, okay.
shit.
Never mind, I'm a liar.
Should have used one. Oh, well, that's fine. No big deal.
Hello, Raiders. Dice Priori. Good to see you. We're having an intense boss fight after a
And
long
thank you,
session.
Laugh Love Lindy, for the Raider Lair.
Yeah, thank you.
Sorry, thank you so much.
We got distracted.
Okay. So, okay.
Stunned is not paralyzed, correct?
Right. So, what do you do?
I'm
You can
stunned.
talk.
It's
Okay.
worse.
I mean, I would try to. I actually wouldn't want to say anything. I would make sure I'm still invisible. I would try to see if I can see that.
Yeah.
I can't move or anything, right?
You can't move. You can't like move your body to attack or take an action, but basically you have this time to like you feel like you can speak and you can see and you have your senses about.
I wouldn't want to reveal where I am. I would be trying to,
Okay.
do my
You got it.
my roguey biz and
Yeah.
make sure that he can't spot me. And I
Anyone,
pass my turn.
You're up.
Oh, good call.
So I would also be stunned, but I would be looking at him and just, I made it, Orpheus! I made it! And I'm gonna like cast. Can I cast?
What is that? What thing?
Can I cast Hunter's Mark with?
You cannot cast if you're stunned.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Never mind. Well, I scream that impotently into the void.
What do you say to him, by the way?
I mean it.
What do you mean?
That I'm gonna get him this
Okay.
time.
Got it. It's his turn. With that,
If I ever am able.
he is going to reach onto himself, and he looks at all of you and he says, and he starts shaking even more, and he taps himself, and suddenly he starts just shaking back and forth. The violet flame all around him is going insanely fast. He almost becomes pure flame, starts to flicker now. That brief glimpse of sanity that he had in that moment has been consumed, and he's now incredibly fast. Sylvia, you're up.
I'm going to use my bonus action to drink another potion.
Okay.
And then I'm going to look at him and I'm going to say,
Orpheus, I don't want to do this because I love you. No one ever understood me quite like you did when we would get drunk and make fun of everyone else, but we didn't really mean it because we liked them too. But you get me, and I get you, and I'm only doing this because I don't want you to be whatever this thing is that you're becoming, okay?
and then as I shoot my 3 Eldritch Blasts at him, I'm going to say,
I love you!
and I'm going to shoot him.
Okay.
Shoot it in the face.
That's what I do.
Hold on.
And I don't remember what my plus is. You have to give me a second.
What do you mean? You didn't keep that in your brain for a full year?
You know.
22 months?
So, 22 and 18 and 18.
18. Got it.
So, I don't know what his AC is.
So 19 is AC.
Okay, so 2 of those miss, but 1 will hit, and so it will do this much damage, Michael.
Yeah, Michael.
Michael, that is 13
Nice.
damage.
13. I need to make.
Sorry, I was emotional.
I need you to make a persuasion check for me,
It's
please.
really hard to hit those when I'm crying.
Oh, and I have. Hold on.
You said persuasion?
Persuasion.
I need new dice.
What do you get?
Well, I rolled a natural 2.
Okay.
My persuasion, so 12.
Well,
Let's twist it. Should we twist it?
Yes.
We're gonna twist it.
Yeah,
Oh,
your
that's good.
persuasion's real good.
I'm gonna use this.
It's real good.
No.
Okay.
So
Okay.
as you
I rolled
say
a
this
1.
to him, as you say that brief thing to him, you see that just for a moment there's a swipe as he's chaotically gyrating around that pillar of flame. He starts to calm down a little bit, and you see a brief glimpse of some sort of recognition. And then as soon as he blasts into the Eldritch blast into him, and suddenly once again the violet flame erupts, and I need you, Sylvie, to make I need you to make an Arcana check for me.
Okay.
Baby.
I'm gonna actually get some dice.
That's a good call. That's a good call.
Okay. You blast, and I'll kill you, I'll destroy you, and what will come after will be beautiful.
Why do you forsake me?
With that, it's Reddick's turn.
I got another natural 1.
Right, yeah.
I'm hoping I'm all out of them.
I will yell out, Orpheus, I thought you wanted to be a hero! We're gonna put you down now! but Rodek will do it all as non-lethally as possible.
It's possible.
So he will bonus action spiritual weapon.
You and I are not the same.
That's a hit. That is a 11 points of force damage.
11 points, got it.
Yep. And then I will attack 3 times non-lethally with this die because it does me pretty well.
Spoke too soon.
Okay.
Oh my lord!
It's a 3, a 2, and an 11. That might hit. That's a 22. Does
Yeah,
that hit?
bingo.
Wow.
We are rolling like crap. And by we, I mean me.
I'm gonna make it a menacing attack. You
Sorry,
need to make a wisdom saving
We're
throw.
shaking the rust off here. Nice. That's a good hit.
I'm gonna throw these dice.
Wiz saving throw,
That's
Mike.
a good hit.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, I heard it.
I accidentally said
That's a good tit.
That's
What you used
passes.
to saying.
tit. Didn't know where I was.
24 points of slashing damage.
Got it. Okay.
So I've used 3 of my little dicey dice.
Layer action. As he actually I need to roll my percentile die again. Okay. As the flame whips up, getting slashes. Oh, you need to take fire damage, Rich. How many times did you hit him? Or you need to take psychic damage.
Ooh.
3 times.
Once.
13.
Are you sure?
Oh, well, so my spiritual weapon hit him once.
No, that's not.
Okay, so just once.
So it's psychic damage. Is it your brain is being racked?
Do I take it from my Eldritch Blast?
You're not melee range.
Okay, cool. I just wanted to. I wanted to maintain the state of the game.
As
Thank you.
you see the battle in Orpheus's head, as suddenly once again the flames shrink down, as he's gripping his ears like, no, I know you. No, please stop. Make the whisper stop. And he's ignited again by the violet flame as suddenly hear the cry of some horrible eldritch. Is that a bird? You can't really tell. From the phoenix feathers that had been consumed, violet phoenix-like abominations erupt down and fly on top of you, and all of the tokens.
Oh no.
How much damage did I take, by the way?
I think
from
15.
took them
Uh,
up there. I think you put them
Oh
up
no!
with you.
It's getting avian up in here.
Was that in the
Maybe
same
up in this
stack?
biz. Oh, yeah, I did take them. How about that? You place 2 in each. 2 in each character. I'm just going to make all the attack right here.
Nope, they still suck. They still roll like butt.
On Rhoda, it's going to be a natural 20. That's going to hit.
They still roll like
on
butt.
Sylvie.
Iris when you need her.
On Sylvie. One's going to hit.
I'm going to cast Misty Escape.
Okay. Annulin, one's going to be a natural 20.
No, it's
Damage, I'm going to roll to see if they perceive you. I need for each one.
Sure.
One will attempt to attack you at disadvantage.
Yes.
They're rolling at
And they
disadvantage to
horribly-
perceive, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
They miss. You're able to dodge these phoenixes. They're attempting. They can hear something. They can sense something. These are strange. Are they figments of your imagination? You're not really sure. With that, I'm going to roll damage real quick. As these.
And so I'm gonna pop over into this corner.
Over here?
Yeah, like away
Next to
from
that
that.
phoenix?
No, away into that
4,
corner.
8, 9.
This
I think
corner?
that's a wall.
Oh, is that a wall?
That's a
16
wall.
Yes,
points.
away from it.
16 points of psychic
I don't
damage.
want to be next to it.
16
As-
points
like
of
in the
psychic
middle here.
for whomever got hit.
16 points from both of you. To both of you.
I got crit.
You got crit. Yeah. And
So
then,
it's still 16?
Yes, I rolled the crit. Both of you got crit.
Oh, we did.
Both of
I'm
you got
sorry, I
crit,
didn't
yeah.
hear that.
I got hit by 1.
Oh, you got hit by 1 when
Yeah.
you roll. Sorry.
Maintain the state of the game.
Thank you. 9 points of damage.
So how much damage did I take?
Thanks.
Sorry.
16.
As in Rodek, as this violet flame, the both of you that have been crit, suddenly you both ignite into flame, and you feel like you're burning, and you feel like you're gonna take damage next turn. And you see, no, just make it stop, please. Just who are you? I don't recognize you anymore. I don't recognize
I
myself.
realize that.
No, I wouldn't bother.
Trying to be as stealthy as I can and not make noise, knowing that I'm still invisible. I am going to, even though I'm invisible, do a little shifting dodge, fancy footwork, and attempt to strike Orpheus. But as I do so, I spin around in a flourish and make it a what was it called? I think it's called a slashing flourish. I spin around in a circle and slice it at all of the enemies with the tip of the rapier. Am I rolling an advantage?
Yeah.
Attack. Okay.
Oh, he's hasted though, so it would just cancel out, right?
Hasted doesn't make it, does it?
I don't know.
I think you are. Chat. Does haste make you?
I don't think haste makes you
I can check on
disadvantage against
Felix.
attacks.
Or just D&D 5e.
I don't think
You
we've
have
ever
plus
played it
2
like that.
bonus to your AC,
It's AC
advantage
bonus.
on deck saving throws, and you gain additional action on each of your turns.
Okay, yeah.
So advantage.
Plus
So
two.
just
So it's 21.
I'll re-roll one of the dice with my elven accuracy.
You got this. You got this. You got this. You got this.
Oof. It's still going to be a 20 to hit.
What? No. 21 is the AC.
Shut up.
Because he's got
'Cause he's
plus
hasted.
2 to AC for haste.
I'm going to use one of my lucky die.
You got it.
That's going to be a
There we
25 to
fucking
hit.
go.
That'll hit.
Misses.
It stabs into him, and
So first I'll roll, well, let me roll the damage and then I'll roll the flourishing damage. That's pretty good. That's going to be 15 plus 25, 5 to 25, plus 6 is 31, plus 6 is 37, plus 8 is 45. And then 49. So 49 points of damage to Orpheus, and then the creatures within 5 feet of me take 4 points of damage.
you got it. Okay. You slice through these horrible phoenix monsters, just eviscerating them. They let out a horrible shriek as they disappear into nothing. And you see, because after the layer action, and I need to roll that, as you see as the flame
dance around.
around his face is starting to shrink, and all of you watch, or all you just see a thin disruption in the flame as Vanus invisibly stabs Orpheus once again. And Orpheus is making no motion to move as he just takes it. He's like, and he's screaming back and forth. And then because of that, I need to roll something real quick.
So they're just like one hitters.
Yeah, and I need you.
No, I just rolled my concentration and business stuff.
I need you to make an intelligence or an arcana check, please.
20.
20. Sylvie, as you watch this, you are watching all of the destruction around you, and as Vander's blade stabs in, you can see that the violet flame only gets brighter around him. As you feel like something hits the back of your mind, and you almost feel like there's the presence above you. There's some sort of satisfaction that you didn't feel when you were in your dream or in your vision. With that, it is Anil's turn.
So maybe smart, but Nick is really stupid.
I don't know. So looking forward and seeing Rodex surrounded at the time, I'm going to narrow my eyes in at Anil. That's me. At Orpheus. I'm gonna narrow my eyes at myself. I'm gonna narrow my eyes in at Orpheus and cast Hunter's Mark on him, and then I'll load my bow with 3 arrows and volley them up into the sky,
Okay.
surrounding
They
Rodex.
fire down into the phoenixes. Or if you hit them, their AC is 14.
Okay, so
1 and 6.
okay, I'll roll 1 first. That's 13, so that does not pass.
Don't
That's
you have
20.
plus 13
Do I?
to hit?
You should definitely.
Oh
have plus
God!
13.
I need to remove the scimitar.
Dead.
I'm always looking at the same thing. Okay, so both of those would get
Just
hit.
unequip it.
I should do that. And then the last one will be to Orpheus.
Okay.
That's 16.
It's 16. Dodges
yeah.
out of, or
Just
he
making
dodges
sure.
out of the way.
I rolled real bad.
With that, it is Orpheus's turn. As he looks around at you, he and you can see it as he's getting hit. You can see and he's like, no, I don't. No, I want to destroy. No, I don't. These are my friends. No, you must destroy all of them. As he gets larger and the flame burns brighter, and he lets out a scream, and massive tendrils of violet flame shoot towards all of you. I need everyone to make an intelligence saving throw, please.
Oh boy.
If you say, that's where I'm not a Viking.
22.
14.
Fail.
4?
Fail.
I'm going to use Well, no, there's no chance I'm going to pass it regardless. I just fail.
Okay. You get hit, and your mind is racked, and you just feel almost stupefied. This horrible mental journey that you've been on. You are disadvantaged on all saving throws, and you cannot cast magic.
Not
until the end of your next turn.
All
Two
of
those will
us?
If we're holding concentration on something, does that continue or is it broken?
No, that's broken. So you're unable to cast spells, and you are disadvantaged on all saving throws as it hits you, as these tendrils of violet eldritch flame blast out.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Goodbye, Invis. I'm going to feel my magic kind of fade. I'm going to look up at the ceiling and then back to Orpheus. And then I'm going to run directly towards him. And I'm going to use all my little gnome strength to jump up on him. I'm going to wrap my arms around him.
I see you. I know you're in there. I see you.
And I'm just going to hold him.
As you leap onto him, you run through in the violet flame as you clamp onto him, and you hug him tight on top of him, and you feel the pain searing in your mind as it ignites you. But I need you to make a persuasion check at advantage, please.
For twisting this is not high.
Be good, fam. 29.
Damn.
19 points of psychic damage.
I'll take it gladly.
As you get completely burned and engulfed, and you are burning now.
Ow, but I love you.
As
Ow.
soon as you say that, suddenly it starts to shrink. Sylvia, is that you? I can't tell if it's you or if it's it. Or him, her. I don't know. I can't tell. And as it still ignites, you can see that the violet flame is starting to get a little dimmer. I need to make an Arcana saving throw for me, or Arcana check for me.
Oh, an Arcana check.
Yeah.
26.
26. As soon as that happens, you get the same feeling in your mind that you got from Buford, your father, in that vision. You then start to feel above you in that same bit of frustration. With that, it's Rook's turn.
Something's above you to pay attention to.
I looked!
I don't get that sense at all, though, correct?
No, you just see Sylvia is now hugging him, and now the flames are a little bit weaker.
Okay, very, very weak.
Just stupid.
Do I feel like I can trip him, or is he like flying in the air?
Oh, he's just standing in front of you. Yep, he's a pillar of violet flame, and he's kind of coming in and out.
Okay, I will attack him once. That's gonna hit. He needs to make a strength saving throw or be tripped.
He fails.
I'm on him.
I'm trying to dodge Sylvia.
You are smushed.
If you trip him and he falls on me.
So he's now prone.
And
Ouch.
as you're prone, as soon as you attack, you see that as the fire had dimmed on Sylvie, now it ignites more and starts to consume more of him.
And what damage do I take?
Yeah, you're going to take a little bit of damage here. 8 points of psychic damage.
Me as well?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you too, because it bursts out.
God damn it!
And it starts to blast out. As soon as it seemed as if it had dimmed very slightly, and then that blast. Oh shit!
Can I talk?
What?
I can talk,
Yeah, you
right?
can talk while it's Roderick's turn. Yeah.
Stop fighting him. Whatever it is, it has his mind, and he needs to know we're here for him.
What am I supposed
see?
to do?
When you fight him, it takes more control. It wants us to hurt him. Don't hurt your friend.
And I just continue to hold on to him.
You do that.
Well, I will use my bonus action to second wind, and heal
You're gonna hit him again. Fuck you, Sylvie!
Stomp on him.
I would kill myself.
Kick Sylvie
doing that.
too.
Right the ribs.
I want to use my third attack to punch Sylvie in the kidney.
Let me see what my equipment is. I don't look at my equipment in a dog's age. I will then use my action. I will use second wind, or not second wind. I'll use what gives me the second action?
Action surge.
Action surge, and I will down a potion of greater healing, and I will say,
burn the witch.
"Hope you're right, Sylvie."
I don't know if I am.
And I will lower my sword.
What are you gonna do?
I will say, as I lower the sword, to say, Orpheus, I know you're better than this. I know you're in there. Please, you can stop this all. Don't make us kill you.
Make a persuasion check at advantage, please.
Nine.
And roll double eights.
As
Why are we rolling so poorly?
you guys are rolling
out of
hot shit.
practice.
As soon as you say that, Rodek, you see that the flames start to dim. As you see, you've knocked him on the ground, and you hear, and Sylvie's still on top of him, and he kind of looks up, and you see Orpheus looking down at you. But in that moment, Rodek, you're not sure if you're seeing the Orpheus that you remember, or was it the teenager, or was it that little boy looking up scared as he held onto the manticore? As he gets ignited into flame, but it's a little bit dimmer than what you had what the damage that you had done by slicing him. The extra flame has dimmed a bit. With that, as that happens, okay, I need to roll my D100. Come on. Oh, goodness. Okay. As he looks around with the lair action, you see as his eyes start to glow, and he just and he opens his mouth, and you see about a bit of tendrils of violet flame shooting out. And he chomps back down and shrinks back into him as he passes his turn. Vanish up.
So the invisibility is dropped.
Yep.
And I'm standing there with my sword kind of in the air, like prepared to attack again. And I'm saying, "God damn it, we're really doing this?"
Yeah.
Fine. And I release my dagger. I let it drop to the ground with a clatter. And I kneel down next to Orpheus, and I say, "Orpheus, after everything that we've been through, I consider you my friend, and I forgive you, please." And I'll grab his shoulder and his hand and pull him in close.
Make a persuasion check at advantage.
Twisted the shit. I don't give a fuck.
I don't need it. I get a 27.
Yeah, you can't be saying that to the charisma classes. Come on.
I'm just saying.
I did get a 1, but the other one was a 13 plus 14.
One of mine was a 19, thank God, because the other one was a 3.
As you do that, you grab him. You're going to need to take some damage here.
Sure.
And me?
No,
I'm
it's the beginning of your
on
turn.
Oh.
10 points of
Stay the
psychic
game.
damage. As you go in and you feel the pain, as you as you grab his arm and you pull his shoulder, and Sylvie's like still right on top of him, and Rodek is looking exasperated. And
Looking at his ass.
You look you look down, and you can see that he's looking up, and you see for a brief moment the flames fade away, and you see the full face of Orpheus, and he's looking up at you, and he seems confused, scared, a hint of anger and bloodlust, but suddenly sanity returns, and he's looking up at you, and he's like, "Do you really mean that?"
Yes, I do. I swear it.
And as soon as you say that, the room fills with flame, and you have to shield your eyes, and suddenly it snuffs back down. And you're all standing around, feeling now the flame around you that had burned you and singed you, you're now fully whole. And as you are, Sylvie, you feel there's no stone on you. You're the flesh of Orpheus, the body of your friend, and you're holding his hand as he's looking up at you. He looks at all of you.
Hi, Orpheus.
Is it gone?
I don't know.
Is it gone?
Are you?
I think so.
I think you made a pact with the too bad dude.
A little lick of flame emerges as he presses digitates, but it's that same orange glow. Thank you. Thank you, friend. I don't want to be bad.
I know. You're not bad.
I don't hear it. I hear my friends. Suddenly, it's not flame. Darkness swallows you. You feel the presence above you. Suddenly, it's not just above you. It's below you. It's around you. You feel anger. You feel hate. You feel malevolence unlike anything that you've fathomed before. You can't even really fathom it in your minds that have been through this journey. And as darkness swallows the tower, it feels like a pitch black night. And suddenly the darkness around you, you feel rage and frustration as the darkness turns from just shadow to the cold, crushing depths of the bottom of the ocean, as you are surrounded in a void, almost floating. And then you see in front of you 1, 2, 3 massive red eyes open. All of you suddenly awaken. Your minds freed. And Vanders, you realize that you are holding Orpheus. Sylvie, you are clinging to the side of his shoulder. Andrew, Annulin and Rodek, you're just watching as you see the fire giants. They're marching onward. You see the army. You're in Smolder Peak Valley. You're not sure how much time has passed. Orpheus still has the same outfit that he had, that pop of violet. And he looks at you, Vanders, and he looks at all of you, and he almost hesitantly snaps his fingers. A bit of orange flame licks out. And he just smiles and says, "Thank the gods." And he passes out. That is where we'll end the session.
Dear.
Oh my gosh,
God.
Mike.
We're not done now.
Oh my.
Welcome back to Prime.
What a way to kick it off. Well done, Mike.
Well done. Gotta give it up.
Great
Thank you.
job.
Well done, you guys.
Great job.
Gotta give it up.
Amazing.
Well, it's
Like-
been far too long.
And we only have to wait a week
I know.
until we play again.
Yes, that's so great. Not having
What if
to
you're
wait
like,
a
just
month.
kidding, like, see you next year?
Oh, yeah.
We'll play again in another
24
15 months. Another
What a
20
way to hook everybody, man.
Oh
I'm
my
hooked. I
God.
don't know about everybody at home. I'm hooked.
I don't know. I
certainly-
think I'm done.
Yeah, I quit.
I quit.
So what's next, everybody?
Vandris and Chill. If you'd like to hang out with Vandris and his backup band,
Hello, everyone.
we are going to be doing a sub-only stream where we decompress from the session. We talk about things that happen. Mikey may, but probably won't pull back the veil, but he might.
He might.
And we'll talk about theories,
We got a lot
and
of
we'll
them.
talk about our favorite parts, and
We
we'll
got a lot
answer
of them.
questions, and we'll hang out, and we'll laugh, and we'll have a good time, so you should join us.
Yes, you should.
And we got a lot of gifted subs, so thank
Yes.
you. And all those new
Yeah.
people will hopefully get to join us in Adventures in Jill.
And you get a 5-minute preview. Did I miss that?
No.
Yeah, if
You
you're
do?
not a
Yeah, you
sub,
probably get a 5-minute preview.
we didn't confirm it. We're gonna just say it
think you do.
happens.
We
If
don't
you're
know.
not a
promises.
sub, then you get a 5-minute preview.
Um,
And Andy guarantees that.
I don't. What was I going to mention? I was going to mention something, and then I got distracted. It was important. It had to do with this. It had to do with D&D. It had to do with our stream. It had to do with us.
Next week, we're back. Same bat time,
We'll
same bat channel. So if you like what you saw, if you're new here, welcome, first of all.
Bat.
Same bat time, same bat channel. From
Is
the
that
Batman
really
show.
what
Same bat day.
Oh.
I don't remember. It's going to come back to me.
We'll come back.
In Adventure
It was
It was
a show.
important. It was important, and now I don't remember.
Ooh, anyone else's face feels pretty intense? Like tense? Like anyone else feel?
My face.
Oh, join our
always
Discord.
feels
Thank you,
intense.
Scott. Discord.
Oh yeah, Discord.
Discord's a good one. That's not what it was.
Join us. Join our Discord if you like what you saw. Come hang out. We have the coolest community. I feel like I'm confident. saying
Very
that.
It
true.
was a,
That is not a lie.
I don't think that's stroking our ego. You know what I mean?
you scroll up in the chat a little. Maybe that's.
Oh, well, that new website. We have a new website. That's fun.
I know what it was.
Oh.
Thank you for the raids.
Oh,
we mentioned it
Thank you
briefly.
for the raids.
Lindy rated us. Dash Ferrari rated us. We just wanted to make
Thank
sure
you
to take
guys
the
so
time to thank
much. We
everybody.
love you guys as always.
Thank
yes,
you.
thank you for that. I want to make sure we didn't miss any other support after that.
Oh, yes.
That's what it was.
We have to remember to do that, so thank you for the reminder there.
That was the only other thing. Raid.
I think we got it.
We got the hosts.
This. And these two, actually.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Mobrock.
Thank you,
followed the
Mobrock,
channel.
for
Thank you so much
And
for following.
Ambivalent Orange. Thank you for
Ambivalent
the
Orange.
Ambivalent orange. So horrible tomato and ambivalent orange must know each
Oh
other. Maybe they're
my
nemesis.
We're collecting some sort of emotional fruits.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Emotional
Love that.
So don't go anywhere. We're going to cut over right now, but we will see you very soon, subs, or everyone else's 5-minute preview. See you real soon.
New
Oh, hey,
nemesis
buddy.
confirmed.
See you guys.